Boo, damn it. Did I scare you? Started 7 seconds early that time. I got them about 9 seconds in last time. I didn't expect it.
Oh, okay.
I heard a few
starting early.
That's right. Today on the Outlaw of College Football, we got a old school guest up in here, Jonathan Lewis, who started all this mess. I have to thank him for the spawning of this evil that is me. And today we're going to talk about Kalen DeBoer. Is he actually possibly going to be even better than Nick Saban? College football world definitely doesn't want to hear that shit.
No.
And then we're going to talk a little something about Oklahoma and Texas, and as they come into the SEC, they've been actually having a lot of good news on the recruiting front for both Texas and Oklahoma. They look like they're recruiting at an SEC level, but we also want to know exactly what SEC people are saying about the Oklahoma and Texas entry. And I got a few thoughts on that because I've talked to a few people around the Southeast, and it's like a split down the middle, man. It's a 50-50 thing as far as the animosity goes. But I'm going to let you introduce yourself real quick. I think I already did, but you want to tell them about your new podcast, our new podcast.
Our new podcast.
Our new podcast has got an OU in it, by the way, just like the Oklahoma people like.
So my name's Jonathan Lewis. Obviously, I used to have the football channel, College Football, Jonathan Lewis. Anyways, me and JPC are teaming up again and starting an actual new YouTube channel. It's going to be for all the college football, of course, but it's going to be primarily based around Alabama and Oklahoma football. I guess I'll put the link or whatever, the name of it in the chat or the comments or some crap like that. Two Crimson Nations is going to be the name of it. It just seems like everybody wants to hear everything Oklahoma. And obviously that came in touch with JPC here. And then us being Alabama fans. And I figured we have so many Oklahoma friends, we might as well not leave them out and just join everybody together and start one big podcast with both of them. So, that's going to be really fun. I'm going to be really wild.
I'm going to be doing most of the Oklahoma talking because I'm the half-breed. I got a little Sooner in me now. Sooners sort of converted me into making them my second favorite team. But Jonathan posed a pretty interesting question because, technically looking at Kalen DeBoer's record, his first 116 games that he's coached, he's 104-12, and Nick Saban in his first 90 games had lost triple that. He was like 86-32 his first 90 games.
Yep.
So is it possible that, Alabama is not going to miss a beat? I know in the past when we've hired new coaches, it was because of controversy. There was no controversy in this. Nick Saban left this place in a good place. It wasn't like Bobby Bowden or Joe Paterno. So you posed the question, so I'm going to let you give your thoughts on that.
Well, first I'm going to respond to the obvious comment on the screen here. Mid-poo. So, JPC actually told me about that earlier, about having me run off the road from crying from laughing. That's actually really good at referring back to Missouri. Now, what's interesting, though, is I did not know there was any type of beef between Oklahoma and Missouri. Has this always been something that's been there, or is it like because they're coming back in, or they're coming back in the same conference?
Well, it's that, and they took some shot at the tornado victims last week.
And it was because of okay.
But they've been talking shit about Oklahoma since they got that recruit. It was in Missouri that they gave them a special in-state bonus to stay in state, and it sort of filtered on from there. And they emasculated them when they were in the Big 12. They were like 67-24 against Missouri. So
67. Okay, yeah. Okay.
That's probably why Missouri don't want them in there. But Oklahoma people come up with some good nicknames, man. They even come up with a good acronym with Tebow.
Tebow is one of my favorites.
TBOW, the bitch out west for Lincoln Riley.
Tebow, what's funny is I think I told you this. The first probably 10 videos I saw you guys saying Tebow, I had no idea what you're even talking about.
Well, even some of the Oklahoma fans don't know the acronym. They'll spell out Tebow like T-E-B-O-W, like Tim Tebow.
Yeah, that's what always came to my mind. I'm like, why the hell does he keep mentioning Tim Tebow? And then I got on one day just in time where it was explaining it, and I was like, wow, I'm an idiot.
So I have to tell even Oklahoma fans, because They don't know. They spell it wrong. I'm like, no, it's TBOW. Let's not insult Tim Tebow. Now, while he did put the hurt on my team, Alabama, a few times he was here, but we did get his ass in the end. But I still like him. Even though he played for Florida, I always have liked Tim Tebow. So let's not insult Tim Tebow like that.
Yeah, he could have came to Alabama. But either way, okay, let me get back to your actual question first. The actual question, of course, oh my God, Kalen DeBoer. So I had to ask this question because, JPC, I'm going to revert this back to you with a question. Did you think Nick Saban would beat out Bear Bryant when he landed in Tuscaloosa?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so for people to think this is going to be a crazy idea that Kalen DeBoer cannot surpass Nick Saban is wild on their own. I believe, and I know a lot of people are going to bring this argument of, well, he played against lower competition. Kalen DeBoer has a way better record than Nick Saban. I'm not saying it's better or worse. All I'm saying is winning anywhere as a head coach is not easy. We're talking high school, or peewee, all the way up to whatever, right, to NFL level. I don't think one is superior to the other. Now, money-wise, of course, when you're talking about winning, winning is winning. You're just the best at what you do in that system, that program, whatever it may be. Now, I think, and I posed the question to JBC, there is a possibility. There we go. Big Honus Kelly. Nick Saban was 76-39-1 in his first 116 games. And what was Kalen DeBoer's record?
104-12.
There we go. I knew it. I just wanted you to repeat it. 104-12 with multiple national championships. So, granted, it's not at the D1 level. I know that argument's going to be made. But to think this guy can't come to Alabama and construct a team or put together a staff to go win national championships at Nick Saban's rate would be crazy. Because the thought, if you would have said Nick Saban would have won 3 and 4 and everything else at Alabama when he did, would have been a crazy statement on its own already. So my question is, if I'm going to make the argument, why not? It's got to be reverted back the same way, right? So, like, what's going to prevent Kalen DeBoer from winning at the rate Nick Saban did win at? Because he's taken over a Tier 1 program. He's taken over just like Kirby Smart did at Georgia, in my opinion. Mark Richt, yes, he didn't win a national championship, but he had a 10-win seasons every year. He had them in the SEC championship almost every other year.
Well, Georgia won an SEC title before Nick Saban came back. I argue that if Nick Saban never comes to Alabama, that I guarantee you that Georgia wins 2 or 3 national titles under Mark Richt.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so this is a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. Kalen DeBoer could win a national championship at Alabama within his first 2 seasons, I believe. You look at Jalen Monroe in this offense, what they're going to look like under Kalen DeBoer. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Jalen Monroe is Michael Penix and all this other crap, whatever it may be. I'm not trying to make a comp, but it is his style of quarterback, right? It is his style of offense. The offense is damn near set up to what he already ran at Washington. We already know that part. The big question is going to be the defense, right? Matt Womack, all these guys coming in, the unknowns from what you would consider lower level, right? So not knowing what that's going to look like. Obviously, with experience, they're going to get better and better and better. But I'm waiting on, like, the big question, because I've posed this to multiple people. Like, what would prevent Kalen DeBoer from winning at the rate Nick Saban did at Alabama right now with everything being the way it is? Because right now, if you look at the recruiting, has the recruiting slowed down?
No.
And you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's going to take a minor hit. You're going to have 1 or 2 maybe pulling the shots. But when he starts winning at Alabama, I have a feeling that's going to pick right back up where it left off.
Well, when he took over Washington, he was in a lot worse shape.
Oh, yeah.
He took over a program that was 4-8 the previous year and took them to a nice bowl the first year, beat Texas in the Alamo Bowl.
Yep.
Then he went to the playoffs this past year and beat Texas again. So the Oklahoma people out there might like Kalen DeBoer since he's undefeated against the Longhorns, man. So, yeah.
And I love the question Big Cojones put up, or not question, but he put, this is a different era of college football. Put that one up. I can't click to put anything up. That is a great, great point, and I love it. This is why I love it so much as an Alabama fan. Why? Because Kalen DeBoer, if you look at what he did with Washington, with the staff he brought in, they're more in tune to win with the current system put in place with the NIL and everything else. He's more in tune with that than Nick Saban ever was. That is what should scare a lot of people right now. Brian Kelly's having to adjust to that, right? He was all against it at Notre Dame. He came into LSU. It's only a matter of time before, you know what I mean, he builds a staff around him that will adapt to it where he doesn't have to worry about it, right? You bring people in to do something you just don't like doing. Kalen DeBoer already loved it. He already adopted the system. He already brought it with him. So that's what I think the scary part could be for everybody in the SEC is Kalen DeBoer is going to adopt that system. That's why he had these players come back to Alabama that left. He went out and grabbed the players that transferred away, except obviously a couple of them, and brought them back.
The only thing that could keep him from having success here at Alabama would probably be Alabama. If our old guard alumni and boosters come back in here like they were before Nick Saban and start screwing around and you know, DeBoer doesn't seem like he's he don't seem like the dominant guy, dominant personality that Saban was. That's the only thing that might be the only hindrance for him is to get used to this kind of culture down here where, I don't know if you saw the pictures of the Washington spring game last year compared to the Alabama spring game.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
That's just one red flag right there that this is a lot different. And if he can deal with the big, huge difference in the culture and how people are so over the top about college football here, then he'll be fine. But if these old guards getting here, like I was talking to you off air about that guy called the Godfather, he was talking about, man, this is going to be a disaster. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? He's 104-12, man. You'll see. There's people who's not buying tickets already because the guy's from the West Coast. Like that geographically constipated, stupid shit right there is the reason why we got in the lurch that we got in with DeBozo and Mike Shula and people like that because y'all too stuck in your ways. Y'all want some of y'all can puppeteer. How's that worked out for Auburn? Puppeteering people. Not very good.
Cost them a lot of money. A lot of money. And look, Nick Saban's not from Alabama. He's from West Virginia, right? He coached up north, Toledo, Michigan State, right? Yes, he was at LSU to Miami. But it all comes down to, are you a winner? Do you bring a winning system with you? Right? Washington went to the national championship with 3 stars. You look at that roster, look at how many people he just put in the NFL, because that's still his team, right? So that just got drafted. Like, it's amazing what that dude did with 3 and 4 stars, especially when you look at Michael Penix. Michael Penix was already, in my opinion, a really good quarterback for in Washington. But the system he put him in and the position he put him in, granted, Grubbs had a lot to do with that. Great offensive coordinator. But, like, it's still the man running the show has to be the one plugging everything in, right? So, and we're talking good and bad. But let me read some of these comments.
You have to add yourself back because I took you off of there. I was trying to get Kuz in here one day where he could access the channel and stuff, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. But I know the Oklahoma fans are in here because of something in the title as far as the SEC fans and what their thoughts are on Oklahoma and Texas coming forward. Nobody's really talked about the fans and the people, just the SEC in general, how they feel. Everybody's asked Oklahoma and Texas how they feel about the SEC. They haven't asked the SEC people that. You know, you're an SEC guy. What do you think about the whole Oklahoma-Texas venture into the SEC? How do you think this is going to happen? I mean, what do you think is going to happen the first couple of years? I mean, what do you see happening for those 2 programs?
Well, what I would like to see, honestly, would be what happened when Missouri came in and Missouri had a chance and they won the SEC East, right? So right away, I would like to see them come in and feel like, you know what I mean, they're a part of the SEC already, in all honesty. Oklahoma and Texas, they're football programs, right? It was different if you bring in like a Kansas. It was different when you brought in even Texas A&M, who was 6-7, 7-6, 8-4. You know what I mean? Every year it seemed like they could never get over the hump, whatever it may be. Missouri, once again, not doing really much. But, you know what I mean? This is a lot different. You're bringing in a Texas team that has a winning record against Alabama, right? So you're bringing in a Texas team that has went to the playoffs. Like you're bringing in an Oklahoma team that's won how many Big 12 championships in how many years? You know what I mean? Like you're bringing in consistent winning teams now. Texas, what I mean by winning, I mean they've won before. That's right. I know a lot of people love to say, you know, Texas is back. blue blood, all this other stuff. Texas has a lot of money, but the winning is not to the degree Alabama and a couple others, Ohio State, have been, right? When you look at the consistency over time, we're talking national championships and stuff like that. We're not talking about just, 8, 9 win seasons.
The last 4 teams they brought in before Texas and Oklahoma, South Carolina, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Missouri, they didn't have multiple-time national championships. No. Texas has won 4. I think Oklahoma's won 7. Y'all can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I think Oklahoma's won 7. So that's 11 national titles that you're bringing in here. They're not going to be intimidated.
Exactly.
So it's not, in Missouri, the argument everybody keeps talking about kicking Missouri out. Missouri's went to the SEC title game twice.
Yes.
Texas A&M hasn't made it.
Yeah,
they haven't made it to a title game yet. So if you're going to kick somebody out, kick Texas A&M out if you're going to kick somebody out, right? And I do a lot of Uber on the side down here in Tuscaloosa, and I get a mixed bag about Oklahoma and Texas. I got an SEC hat, as y'all can see up here. It's got all the teams on it, and they'll say, "Damn, that's a nice hat." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I got to buy a new one because Oklahoma and Texas is coming in." They're like, "Nah, you ain't got to worry about that because we don't want them here anyway."
Yeah.
A lot of the Alabama fans, they're not. A lot of them don't want Texas and Oklahoma in the
scared.
So,
scared.
And I'm an Alabama fan, but it sounds like maybe y'all scared that Texas and Oklahoma might come in and steal some of your glory.
Yes. I'm an Alabama fan. We know that. But I welcome Oklahoma. I welcome Texas. Why? Because I want to be able to go to Tuscaloosa. I want to be able to go to Norman. I want to be able to go to Austin and watch these games. Alabama and Oklahoma, are you freaking kidding me? This could happen how often? You know what I mean? Like, we got to get past the point of winning and putting people down. You're talking about going and watching historic games at this point. Like, you screw Alabama and Vanderbilt, Alabama, I'll even say Alabama, Kentucky, whatever it may be. I want to see Alabama and Texas on a regular, Alabama, Oklahoma, whatever it may be. And we're talking in Tuscaloosa. We're talking in Norman, places like that. You know what I mean? And most of all, I want a chance to get a winning record against Texas.
It's going to take at least 7 years.
Well, I don't care.
Maybe longer because we're not playing them like we are Oklahoma.
No, of course.
What really pissed the old guard, all the SEC old guards off is the fact that, and I told you this earlier, is there's no divisions. So what if Texas and Oklahoma both end up tied for first? One of them's got to beat each other, but then the other one catches a loss somewhere, and Texas and Oklahoma end up in the first SEC title game.
That would be wild.
There's going to be some pissed off people.
Look, and you're going to have a lot of negativity in Norman and a lot of negativity in Austin for both sides. Because, I'm here in San Antonio. I go to Austin all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I damn near Austin's my second home at this point. I hear Texas fans all the time bitching about leaving the Big 12. Does that make sense to me? Absolutely not. But I think a lot of those fans are a lot like a lot of the Alabama fans that you encounter. They're scared at the same time because it's not like you're going to a place where you're just going to dominate. You're going to the SEC. Like it or not, most of the talent in the NFL comes from where? The SEC. You're playing against better competition at the end of the day. So I'm not saying that's going to translate to you losing more games. All I'm saying is it's going to translate to a hell of a lot more or harder time to get to the national championship, get to the playoffs. Good thing we're going to a 12-team playoff. That's all I'm going to say. And you know what I mean? And it allows for a little bit more slight of an error between, Alabama, Oklahoma, all these teams to lose more than one game possibly and still get in.
Turd says that Texas has been a little better for a long time, Boomer, but I think Texas, if I'm not mistaken, does have a winning record against Oklahoma.
I don't know that one.
If you want to, but I think they do. Texas A&M is another team that didn't really want Texas and Oklahoma to come in. They didn't really have a problem with Oklahoma, but they did with Texas. And I really can't blame Texas A&M in a way because the SEC agreed not to do that, and then they did it. So, but they got a new commissioner, and the new commissioner says, I'm not that commissioner, and we're going to add Texas and Oklahoma because of the brand.
Greg Sankey is going to do what he wants to do. Texas can come into the SEC like they've done in the past in the Big 12 and think they're going to run the show when it comes to the conference. That's not going to happen in the SEC. Your money means nothing here. Plain and simple. Your TV deal with Texas means nothing in the SEC. We're not talking about millions. You're talking about billions. Whole different ball game.
Lynn Abbott says OU fans will cheer for Alabama to beat Texas. And me and Jonathan are banking on the fact that our teams and our universities and our people are a lot alike, because that's why we're starting that new channel called Two Crimson Nations. Actually, I'm not completely an Oklahoma fan, but what we'll do is, like Jonathan said, we'll just have some Oklahoma guests on, and we'll call it the Two Crimson Nations, because we're actually the only two teams in Major League College football that claim crimson. I don't count Harvard because they're not in it. So.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of interesting topics. I want to get a lot of, a lot of Oklahoma fans on there, eventually players, right? I know we can get Alabama players, from that perspective, and stuff like that. But, yeah. OU has dominated Texas since 2000. Yeah, and that's one thing I like about Texas and Oklahoma coming over as well, because they're still going to be able to shit talk and play each other, right? And we're still going to be in the SEC. So, to me, it brings more money, more fandom. Hopefully the stadiums get bigger. It generates more money. You know what I mean? It's going to be a more positive environment, in my opinion, for the fans, plain and simple. And you can pay the players now. Everybody wins.
If y'all don't mind, jump out and smash the like button. It won't take you but 5 seconds. Hit that like button and then jump back in here. It helps push the algorithm. Lets people know we're up and on the air. At least I think that's what it does for us.
For the most part.
Jonathan would know more about that algorithm.
Yeah, it actually does. It's one of the signals it puts out. So it's called a signal. So Killer Breeze says OU is 17-8 in the last 25 games against Texas. Man, it's you have dominated, but I will say this: Texas looks good under Steve Sarkisian. You know what I mean? They have a good quarterback. You know what I mean? They have Arch Manning. By the way, looming in the background, and JPC spoke to me earlier on this, and look, if Alabama has a crutch, it's the last name Manning, right? God. Peyton, Eli. We can to not beat them. It does not matter.
I ain't telling you nothing else. That's supposed to be a secret.
But yeah, yes, the Mannings seem to beat Alabama on a very consistent basis.
The last time we played a Manning, Eli Manning, in Oxford, Mississippi, we got our ass handed to us.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was like 43-28, but that wasn't indicative of what went down that day. I even had tickets to that game and didn't go because I knew. I was like, got an offer from a friend to go to the beach, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the beach.
It's a good thing you went to the damn beach.
I watch that massacre from the confines of Panama City on the beach, and then I won't be as pissed.
But yeah, one of my goals this year is to go to Norman. To watch an Oklahoma game, though.
Yeah, I'd love to go, but that's a long ways for me.
Don't get me wrong. It's quite a – if anybody in the chat knows San Antonio to Norman, let me look this up real quick.
And it just feels right. I don't care what anybody says. It feels right. And another thing they point out about Texas mainly, it ain't Oklahoma. The SEC people don't like the idea of adding Texas because of what's happened in the past with Texas. They killed the Southwest Conference. They sort of ruined the Big 12 in a way. And the Big 12 did recover and add a bunch of Mormon teams and shit. But they've basically been a cancer in each and every conference they've been in. And the SEC people were afraid that they'll come in here and try to, throw around their swagger and their money and try to dictate things and take over. And Texas is probably telling them, no, we're not going to do that. But in the back of their minds, I bet you Texas people are thinking, yeah, we're going to come in and do things the way we've always done. That's what people worry about, with the whole horns down being a penalty kind of shit.
That ain't going to work in the SEC. We got cowbells at Mississippi State. You think horns down is going to be a penalty? No. It's not going to work. Greg, if there's one thing.
They'll definitely maybe put it as a definition as a penalty. But I guarantee you there will be no penalizing on that. No, the referees won't throw the flag on them loud-ass, obnoxious cowbells. They're definitely not going to do it for this right here.
And believe it or not, that's actually considered a penalty. So it's supposed to be a delay of game. So when they do the cowbells in Mississippi State, it's supposed to be a delay of game. So you got a really good point there. So you have a penalty that's not enforced already. So you best believe the horns down will not be enforced in the SEC.
Well, the people in the middle part of America, like Texas and Oklahoma and even up into Kansas and Nebraska, we won't count Missouri because they're in that big middle part. It's a pile of shit.
Mid-poo.
Mid-Pooh.
That's
It's Mid-Pooh.
such a good name.
From St. Louis to Jefferson City to Kansas City to Joplin, it's nothing but a pile of shit in Mid-Pooh. But
R.I.P. Joplin.
But all those heartland of America states, as they call them, in the Southeast, they all belong together, man. They belong together as a conference, in my opinion.
Yeah, so Big Cajones County, LSU goes down. Oh, man. Big Cajones Kelly, his last comment he put. Lynn Abbott, San Antonio Norman's about, I just looked it up. It's about 6.5 hours. So that's easy. That's an easy drive. 6.5 hours?
I can do 6.5. She says it's 8 hours.
Yeah, no, I just looked it up on Google Maps. Probably with traffic, it ended up being 8 hours. The way it runs around through Dallas and everything else. Good Lord. But either way, I mean, I can easily, that's even 8 hours. That's a fairly easy drive.
Hey, Jonathan,
to me.
What's those little badge things next to people's names? What is that?
You know what that is? It means they're members.
How you get one of those?
Well, you go to the YouTube channel and you spend 99 cents. Isn't it 99 cents?
It's $2.99.
$2.99, less than a bottle of water a week.
That's right. That's 75 cents a week. You get your badge right there, just like Big Cajones Kelly, Killer Breeze, Jonathan, and others in here. You get your badge, you get deputized, and you'll get a random Four Horsemen shout out on the actual podcast, as well as possibly the comment of the day. We may roll that over to the Two Crimson Nations whenever we get that one monetized as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. So Mad Dog Mike says I've wanted OU in the SEC for about 20 years now. Yeah, I mean, Arkansas and them came over in what, 92, 3? I was young when they came over. I was like 7 or 8 years old. What year did Arkansas come over to the SEC?
92.
Yeah, that's what I thought, 92. I was 7 years old. So I didn't remember much.
I was going to my prom in 92.
You were going to your prom.
That's right.
And I was in 2nd grade.
With my high school sweetheart.
There you go. I knew it was 92 or 93. I knew that because we won the national championship, obviously, against Miami. Excuse me. But yeah, this whole realignment, I mean, it's got to create excitement for everybody. Brent Venables having another year under his belt. And me, I look at Brent Venables as an SEC coach, right? When you see him, that hard-nosed, fired-up guy, he looks like an SEC coach. So I believe it just makes sense. Steve Sarkisian, he's just a tactician, right? So it makes sense. I think we're in for a lot of really good football. And I do love the fact that we're going to the 12-team playoff. So
that'll help out a lot because now you're able to afford a second loss, in my opinion. Whereas in the past, if you lost one game, you was just hoping for other people to lose at that point.
Yeah. So let's see here.
And I mentioned this in my last podcast. What Missouri and Texas A&M fans need to realize, and I know they want to hear this shit. They're going to think I'm trolling them, but they owe Texas and Oklahoma a debt of gratitude because Texas and Oklahoma was the teams they wanted in 2012.
Yeah.
They didn't get them because of numerous reasons, but Oklahoma had a situation with the legislature there where they didn't want them leaving Oklahoma State behind. Texas had some of that with Texas Tech too, but things in people's minds have changed. Their outlook on that has changed a lot because you just can't do that, man. You got a brand in your state that's worthy of a big-time conference like that, you need to let them go and do their thing, like Oklahoma.
It didn't help either that Texas applied for the Pac-12 back then. People forget about that. Texas tried to leave for the Pac-12. I don't think many people even remember that.
Well, Texas and Oklahoma and Oklahoma State and Texas Tech were thinking about getting all four of those teams, and the Pac-12 decided at the last minute to snub their noses, which is what they did here recently.
Academic standards.
You see what happened? They listened to Kevin Warren's snaky ass in the Big Ten, their Rose Bowl love affair that they've had for 60 years, and Kevin Warren stabbed them right in the back, man.
I mean, he brought them in for the hug and everything and just went right around.
Exactly, man. It's like one of them old WWE storylines where, you know, Shawn Michael turns on Marty Jannetty, he turns his back and super kicks his ass into the mirror. Or a steel chair shot.
And it seems like, I mean, comment, you know what I mean? If you guys are happy that you're coming to the SEC, Oklahoma and Texas fans that are listening right now, let us know, like, are you happy that you're coming over to the SEC? Do you think you should wait longer, another year or two? You think now's the right time? I feel like it's the perfect time.
Well, they originally they were supposed to come in 2025.
Yeah.
But they hurried that up a little bit.
So, as a Sooner fan, what OU road game would you recommend going to this season? Ole Miss, Auburn. Oh, I mean, that's an easy one to me. It depends on if you want to see your team win or not win. I guess you can say be competitive. To me, I've never been, but I want to go to an LSU night game. I heard it's one of the best venues you could possibly go to.
Yeah, as long as they don't beat you up.
Yeah, and that's why I said competitive. But I mean, it would still be awesome, even if like you lose or whatever. I think, you know what I mean. So now, if you just want to smash somebody, you can go to the Plains and watch Auburn. But Auburn they put on a pretty good venue themselves.
You don't want to go down to Auburn.
I like their venue,
unless it's New Mexico State. You might not have a problem winning.
Oh my Lord!
I've heard the Grove at Ole Miss, as far as friendliness goes and being able to party with the other team.
And food.
I've heard Ole Miss is really good. I've never been to the Grove, but I'd like to go.
Yeah, I heard the food is like top tier at the Grove. So as far as like Southern food goes, I can tell you a place not to go ever, in my opinion, and that's Starkville, Mississippi. There is nothing there.
Well,
there is no venue.
Mine is Knoxville, Tennessee. They will throw shit at you. They'll throw batteries at you and everything.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Sort of Texas and Oklahoma fans have that with Texas Tech. You know, Texas Tech throws tortilla shells out on the field of people.
Yeah, I know.
What the hell is that shit?
I think we may have to do this. So Big Honest Kelly told me to come on down. He'll go with me to an LSU game. We play in LSU this year, right? We
Alabama?
do. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I believe we do play at LSU this year. Let me look up the Alabama schedule.
Killer Breeze says the night game in Tiger Stadium is absolutely best football environment in the country. It's not close. Yeah, I've heard that, but I've also heard that if you're wearing the other colors, that sometimes you might encounter a problem down there. That someone might try to.
I would wear neutral. I'm not wearing an Alabama jersey because I've seen too many videos.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can't tell what someone's going to do from behind.
Yeah, so I would just not. Yeah, it's at LSU. So no, I wouldn't even wear an LSU. I would just wear a normal T-shirt and
what
go.
About this? Why don't we do this? This will protect us right here completely. Instead of going to Alabama game down there or Oklahoma game, we'll wait till LSU's playing Auburn down there, and we'll go as LSU.
Ooh, there we go.
We'll wear some LSU garb.
Yeah.
And we'll take Auburn out. We'll get Big Cojones Kelly and Killer Breeze because they're two LSU guys.
There we go. So when does LSU? Let me look up.
Four horsemen.
Let me look at LSU schedule. So they play because does Auburn play there this year?
I don't know. If y'all want your comments read out, you can click on the little money dollar sign at the bottom. Click on it, write your comment out, and then click it a second time and send it. It'll push it to the top, and me and Jonathan will read it out.
Let's see here. Let me look up their schedule real quick.
Thunder OU Center says, yes, I'm happy because of the Big 12 commissioner, the Big 12 refs. OU should have been in the SEC in 2023. OU should have been in the SEC in 2012.
Yeah.
I've been telling Oklahoma fans that for a long time, and I actually got lucky. I started talking about Oklahoma and Texas coming to the SEC about a year before they did. Jonathan knows that, and then they ended up coming, and my channel blew up because of that. Yep. And in fact, I was calling that, not meaning to, and then I was railing on Tebow's ass when everybody else was sucking up to him. So
why don't we go? So they don't play Auburn this year because of adding in Oklahoma.
I'm talking about LSU going to the game at LSU. Like, is Auburn? Yeah. Auburn
no, they don't. They took it out.
Auburn don't play LSU at all.
No, they
were lucky bastards. Why don't we get stuck playing LSU, man? We'll never get a break from them damn Cajuns, man.
Why don't we? I'll tell you a good game I would like to go to. In all honesty, I would love to see them play UCLA because of what happened with that. You what?
You got honesty?
Yeah, I got honest. I want to see. I would love to go to Baton Rouge and see them play UCLA after that whole. Was it baby blue bitch colors or what was said?
Yeah, that was Ed Orgeron. He said they had sissy blue.
Sissy blue. There we go. Oh man. And I would wear bring on the sissy blue. I have to get a shirt made or something. Oh, that'd be fun. Most of the Auburn games at LSU are day games. Yeah, I don't want to go to that. I want to go to a night game.
I was going to bring this up and see what you thought about it. I know you like recruiting, but you may be out of the loop, so you may not even know about this. The Oklahoma Center's got a big win in the portal. It says no NIL issues in Norman.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah, no. I've already read on it. Yeah, they're getting
Yeah, they got
big time.
It's a tackle from TCU. When I said TCU at first, I sort of rolled my eyes, but then I looked at his stats. And it says here he's 6'2", 320 pounds, 60 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, and 4.5 sacks. That's pretty good for a big guy.
He's a monster. He is a monster. Once again, I love what Brent. But then I explained this. I remember saying this a couple of years ago, and I'm sure you remember this, JPC. I said you have to be patient with Brent Venables. The system he's going to want to run with that defense, you're going to have to wait for these players to come in. Why?
They'll like this comment right here. It's like the Sooners are fully ready, and they're proving that they're headed into a gauntlet of the league at the same time with the transfer portal, NIL playing a prominent role. As a true blue blood, one of the story programs, they're adapting just fine.
With this, they're showing that they're getting SEC-style players. Plain and simple, right? I'm not saying Oklahoma's had high-caliber players. We already know that, but they have to adapt to the style that they play against in the Big 12. This was going to be the big gauntlet for me for Oklahoma, and I kept talking about it a couple of years ago. I said, you're going to have to be patient as an Oklahoma fan when Brent Venables got there, because he's going to want to bring in SEC players right away, which he did, right? But they're going to be competing against Big 12 teams. It's not going to look the same. It never does. We saw, you know what I mean, when Alabama plays Oklahoma or Alabama plays Texas or whatever, it looks different. I'm telling you, War of Nutrition is going to look a whole lot different for Oklahoma and Texas in the SEC than it does the Big 12. And I think that's going to be the biggest change. You can have great players. That's fine. Auburn gets great players. Right? Georgia, Alabama, LSU, South Carolina gets really good players and great players. It's the depth behind those players is what's going to make the difference between, once again, an SEC schedule versus a Big 12 schedule. You've got to have the depth, and that's what Oklahoma's getting right now.
Yeah, it's just like when Boise State went in the Fiesta Bowl and beat Oklahoma. I know they don't like me bringing that shit up, but all Boise State had to do all year was get ready for one hard game. And that was Oklahoma.
Exactly.
So Boise State played this shitty-ass schedule all week. Now, if you put Boise State in like the Big 12 or the SEC, they might win one game, but they're not going to win consistently enough to make it to a big bowl game. They're going to probably go 4-8, 5-7, tops 6-6 on a good year, 7-5.
Yeah.
Texas the same way. I mean, they, like you said, the saving grace for them is they got Steve Sarkisian, I think, and he went to Saban car wash, as I like to call it. And I think that might help them in their transition. Yeah. But Texas beat Alabama last year. But my question is, can they beat 5 or 6 other teams that are built just like Alabama? You can beat one Alabama, but can you beat 5 Alabamas? Exactly.
And that's one thing I don't think people understand, because a lot of people that weren't in the SEC, I don't think so much this came from the Big 12, especially Oklahoma and Texas that are coming over. I don't think you heard that Alabama was the lone one on top, right? So because when you play at Georgia, when you play at LSU, like when these guys aren't winning national championships, even when you're playing Florida, it's not given. You're not just going to win. You don't walk in and just beat these teams. They're still extremely high caliber teams. That's why I've always been excited about Brent Venables getting to Oklahoma, because I'm like, this dude is going to build the staff that way. You know what I mean? Even Steve Sarkisian at Texas, he's electrifying on the offensive side, so that's why I wanted to see him come over to the SEC, because I want to see him against SEC defenses, right? So it may not be Alabama with the old school defenses, but Georgia's had a great defense. LSU did before what's happening right now. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Alabama's looking a lot like LSU right now. Like, we're relying heavily on offense, and our defense just pretty much doesn't show up sometimes. So
Fred Bagley finally made it to the party. He's got his badge. He said, "Howdy, boys. Had to go get my granddaughter." Where's your priorities, man? Don't you know we come first before your granddaughter?
you're stupid.
Sarcasm. Don't kill me.
Of course.
Sometimes people can't tell when I'm sarcastic. We get in a lot of trouble all the time. I don't know why people are always picking on me like that.
Big Honest Kelly said Vandy's the only SEC team that you can pencil in as a W, except if you're Tennessee.
Yeah, well, I mean, and Florida.
Yeah, and Florida.
They've gotten Florida a couple of times, and shit, 5 or 6 years ago, they got Georgia.
What was it? Vandy had Tennessee 2 out of 3 years?
Vanderbilt's that definition of Boise State. They're going to pop up and get 1 or 2 wins eventually.
Eventually,
they can't win 6 or 7 conference games.
No.
They can win 1 or 2. But they ain't going to win 6 or 7, probably ever. And watch me say that, and Vanderbilt go to the SEC title game.
I'm done. If Oklahoma and Texas come over and it's Vanderbilt in the SEC title game, I'm leaving. I'm done watching football. I'm hanging it up, and I'm shutting every YouTube channel I got completely off the air.
Look, Texas got to go to Vanderbilt, man. Wouldn't that be some shit if they lost in Nashville?
God,
that's some game right there, man. We need to go to Nashville, man, and be Vanderbilt fans.
There ain't no way I'm going to look. Nashville, I like. Yeah,
Oh.
Vic Ahoney said, I said pencil, not ink.
We got sneaky ass Mountaineers in the midst down there. You see it?
Yeah.
You see it?
No, I don't. Oh,
there it is, right there.
Oh my gosh!
One of them Mountaineers.
You can't see me.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. How you?
I'm enjoying not editing, not running a YouTube channel. You know, I like this whole just being a guest thing.
Must be nice.
It is. So how's West Virginia going as far as the recruiting this year goes? Because I haven't been able to look at hardly any recruiting.
I mean, typical. We're probably in the 40s, I guess, nationally, but and about the middle of the pack in the Big 12. But I mean, for us, that's about where we're always at, you know.
Yeah. Well, do you think it's going to change with Oklahoma and Texas leaving or no?
No, I don't. Maybe not. I mean, we'll probably move up a little bit as far as the Big 12 goes, but I mean, Texas Tech. But the problem is, a lot of the other Big 12 teams are also doing better, like Texas Tech and UCF and.
UCF.
UCF's doing great in recruiting right now, and then your typical TCU's, you know, the Texas schools are also tough to recruit against, but I mean, it can't hurt for sure. But Neil Brown's more, he doesn't pay attention to, he fills positions in need. You know, he's got a certain type of guy he wants.
That's what he gets.
And that's what he gets. He doesn't necessarily, we actually offered a kid out of California today, which was kind of rare. So wondering if that, you know, picking up the 4 corner schools might not be helping a little bit there. More access. What's that?
They said that might be helping y'all.
Maybe. I mean, we've had kids from out. I mean, heck, Nico, our backup quarterback's from Arizona or Colorado. Actually.
Yeah, Colorado.
But I mean, typically that's not been where we've focused. But look, you know, when you're in West Virginia, you have to travel all over the country to get recruits. You can't really be in a box.
As an outsider looking in, you probably give us a more unbiased take on this. Jonathan posed a question to me, so we talked about it earlier in the program. He was thinking that, you know, much to the chagrin of the rest of college football, from the way it's looking with Kalen DeBoer's track record, he might be just as good as Saban down the road. What do you think about that?
It's a little early to be talking about that mess, but
I'm stirring the pot. Come on now.
I mean, it's possible. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that he'll ever be as good as Saban. I think he can win a national championship or 2. But I don't think he'll ever be Nick Saban. I have a hard time putting anybody into that category, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think he's the GOAT.
They said the same thing about Bear Bryant too, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always at some point somebody's going to break your record, right?
Yep.
Or at least come close.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it'll be for it to be the guy who follows you. That would be extremely, extremely rare.
I mean, Steve Young, Joe Montana to Steve Young, right?
Yeah, but even Steve only won one Super Bowl. Joe won what, 3?
Yeah, you're right. Two Hall of Famers though, back to back.
That's true. That's true.
Didn't Joe won like 4, didn't he?
Yeah,
it may have been 4. I can't remember the exact number.
Either way, you make a good point though, Steve. I didn't realize Steve Young only won 1. To be honest with you, I thought he won 2. So
yeah, I think it was. I could be wrong on that. I'm not NFL's. I'm no NFL.
I'm not either.
I know they beat the Chargers one year. The year I'm thinking about, they beat the San Diego Chargers in the Super Bowl.
They demolished them actually.
Yeah, they did.
1989 OCF Jonathan Coos, the posses. In fact, yeah, it's been a while since we all three been on.
All-star lineup tonight.
Yeah, Jonathan. I don't know if this is what happened. You just you started to get back into it, man. You just decided.
Well, I started to get back into it. My work took over.
So
work became ridiculous. That's not an issue anymore. But yeah,
I got you.
So now let's see here. But yeah, I said I always want to start because my argument's always been I think anybody can be as good or better than Saban, right? Especially when you look at Kalen DeBoer being younger. He's 49, is coming into it. Look, he's won championships, not at the D1 level. I understand that. His record is much better, clearly not the D1 level. But I think he took a Washington team that I think not many people knew. You look at Rome, Penix was already a really good quarterback in my opinion, right? But Rome, you look at a lot of these other guys, those guys were 3 stars that they developed. They were not 4 and 5 star guys. So what I'm hoping as an Alabama fan is you bring that same mindset to Alabama. You bring obviously not the same staff. You don't have Grubbs. He left, obviously. But you bring in Womack, you bring these guys on the defensive side. I think the defense is going to take a lot longer to develop than the offense, but I mean, defense has been a problem now for how long for Alabama? It's been a long time since we've had a really good defense, in my opinion. But I think offensively, we have a chance to go to the playoff year 1 because we can lose 2 games, in my opinion, and possibly still get a good chance to get in the 12-team playoff.
That's fair.
So will we win the national championship? I don't know. I think this would have to be the year, considering we bring our quarterback back, right? So I get it. Yeah. Austin Mack, by the way, they said is killing it in practice for Alabama. The transfer from Washington. He's like 6'6" or something. He's tall. They said he has a strong arm on him.
What do you think about – we was talking about this too. What about Texas and Oklahoma? This is going to be their first year in the SEC. Some of the SEC fans are saying they didn't really want Texas and Oklahoma over here. A lot of the Alabama fans that I pick up doing Uber have said that they don't really want them in the SEC.
What's the reason?
But I think it's probably just because you got a little apprehension. They might be scared, or there's also the Boogie Bear thing about Texas wanting to come in and throw that swagger around, that kind of deal. But as an outsider looking in, what are your thoughts on Texas and Oklahoma going into the SEC?
I don't see Texas and Oklahoma having the same power in the SEC that they did in the Big 12 because there's other brands in that conference that are equal to them. Now, Texas has got more money probably than everybody else, but they've always had more money than everybody else. So that's not anything new. And they might try to throw their weight around a little bit, but I'm not sure it'll be the same in the SEC. Now, the only thing that I find it funny that the first year Texas is in the league, they're moving their media days to Dallas.
Yes.
All of a sudden.
Yep. I saw that.
They didn't do that for Texas A&M.
Sounds like a little catering to me.
Yeah, it does a little bit, and because I kind of said the same thing about the Big 12 moving theirs to Vegas. Like now that you and Brett Yormark said out of his own mouth, that's what the new 4 corner schools asked for.
Yeah.
So.
And have you seen Texas's schedule compared to Oklahoma's? They give Texas a really decent schedule.
Yeah, it's Oklahoma's schedule is freaking brutal.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's brutal
on Oklahoma.
Absolutely, yeah, I did see them, and it's nothing. I mean, but they're both tough. But I mean, Oklahoma, man, it was. It's like welcome to the school of hard knocks, baby.
Little that money out there that you're talking about being thrown behind.
It is a little funny that they moved media days in year 1. I'm sure they'll not use that. I'm sure they'll say that's not the reason, but there's got to be something to it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know a lot of the camps the SEC puts on is outside of Dallas. That's got to be part of it. The Dallas-Fort Worth area, Highland Park, and Houston is another one. So I mean, it's not a huge surprise to me they moved it to Dallas.
That's a good point. I didn't know about that though.
So
the SEC went from having one team in the Southwest to having three.
Yeah.
Two. So that might be because of the numbers.
That's
and
good too.
They're going to want to make them feel welcome, right? It's a lot easier to go to Dallas, even if from Norman, right? It's in between both. So I mean, it's right next to Texas A&M in a sense, or right down from it. So I mean, they're looking to get people over there too that are normally not at the media days, in my opinion. So
I didn't even know that until you told me that. I didn't know they moved to SEC media days.
Yeah,
it's in Dallas this year, and the Big 12, who's usually in Dallas, they're having theirs in Vegas.
Yep.
And now, in Brett Yormark's defense, a little bit, they couldn't do it in Dallas. There was a scheduling conflict that Dallas already had other things going on, so they were going to have to move it somewhere. But they could have moved it to Frisco, just right up the road. They could have done it, but instead they chose Las Vegas because they wanted to kind of cater a little bit to the new schools coming in, which I think is a little bit. I don't know that that's a good idea. Now I have no issue with Vegas. I love Vegas, and I'm going to try my damnedest to go to this event. To be honest, but so selfishly, I'm glad it's in Vegas. But looking at it from the 30,000-foot view, is it really a good idea to already be catering to schools that haven't even played a game in your league yet?
You ever notice that some of these cities, they become the flavor of the month? It's like the city of Las Vegas is like everybody's wanting to do shit in Las Vegas now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
got an NFL team. They're trying to get a baseball team over there.
Right.
They're having the Big 12 media days over there. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Brett Yormark's all about entertainment and doing things. He likes bright lights and glitz and glamour and all that. And he's trying to bring a little bit more of that to the Big 12 within reason.
Well, hell yeah, he's associated with the WWE.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, I have no issue with that. I mean,
I have no issue with it either.
The Big 12 needs that because they need something. They need to spice things up a little bit to help out and bring in more revenue. But at the same time, I hope they don't cater too much to Utah and Colorado and these new schools, because then you're going to leave the 8 other schools. You're going to piss them off, or the 12 other schools rather, and piss them off. I'm not that worried about the 4 ones that just joined. I don't think they're just happy to be here at this point. But irate 8, as they call us.
Your conference is so widespread, man. It's hard to get a neutral site.
Well, I think it was kind of the only way to, in their mind, the only way to stay competitive.
Yeah.
If you call it competitive, the only way to keep the seat at the table is to, you're not going to have the same quote unquote quality brands of schools in your league, so you got to have more in more time zones, right?
You know what I think is going to be interesting too during the SEC media days is how Lane Kiffin's going to interact with Kalen DeBoer. Because Lane Kiffin has always pegged Alabama when it comes to Twitter or X, as they call it now.
Yeah.
And SEC media days, he's always went after Nick Saban, right? He's always made those little remarks.
What about Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
He like his mentor or some shit.
In a sense, yes. It's gonna be interesting during the SEC media days to see how Brent Venables and Kalen DeBoer, right, so interact with these guys, because Kalen DeBoer has never been around something like this, right? So you're talking funny coaches. You're talking Lane Kiffin is off the rocker a little bit. Imagine if Mike Leach was still around at Mississippi State, right? Yeah. RIP to him. Like it would have been a damn circus at the SEC media days at this point.
Did you notice that Lane Kiffin never really tried to poke Mike Leach?
No, he didn't. Which was weird because both of them, that's because they're a lot
Mike
alike.
Leach was like, he's a little out there, man.
Yeah.
I think there was a little bit of mutual respect there between them, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Well, Mike Leach, man, you can't really pick a fight with him or talk smack. He just starts talking crazy shit about the Pirates of the Caribbean and shit. So
I do think seeing how these coaches are going to be interacting is going to be quite entertaining, especially when the season kicks off. Because doesn't LSU have a game in Vegas they start the year off with? If I remember correctly, LSU, their opening games in Vegas. But yeah, Vegas, you're right though. When you talk about that, Coos, it seems like Vegas, everything just piles in there.
Yeah.
As a Big 12 fan, Coos, are you happier that Texas and Oklahoma's gone, or you wish they had stayed?
I don't know, man. I don't. I'm torn on it, kind of. I mean, competitively, I'm glad they're leaving because I think the league's going to be more fun now. But because there's so much parity. But I mean, let's face it. I'd rather make $50 million a year than 30.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Big Otis Kelly says LSU plays the Skittle Shitters, so USC in Vegas. There it is. I knew there was a big game in Vegas to start the year for LSU.
That's going to be interesting. They play UCLA too. They play both teams from LA.
If Texas and Oklahoma were still in the Big 12, there would be no discussion of a P2. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see. ACC has a game overseas this year? What?
Big 12.
Yeah, they do. Shoot, who is it? Florida State plays somebody, I think.
Like over – in Ireland?
Probably in Ireland, yeah. They always do a game over in Ireland every year.
Because next year, 25, it's going to be Kansas State and Iowa State. It's going to be the Farmageddon rivalry is going to take place in Ireland.
For the longest time, they'd always bring Notre Dame. They'd always bring Notre Dame over there because they're Irish.
That is true, yeah.
I think Notre Dame and Navy actually played over there one year.
Yeah, last year it was Northwestern and was it Nebraska? Somebody.
Georgia Tech versus Florida State.
Yep, that's it.
So, yeah, they said
Nebraska played Northwestern over there.
Yep.
It is really blowing up in England and I guess Ireland and those places. I mean, I knew the NFL was getting really popular because London was advocating for a team. So,
well, the way the time zones are, man, I don't think there'll ever be an NFL team over there.
Don't say never.
Yeah, I wouldn't say never either.
The shit, money's right. If the money's right, they're gonna make it.
They're a whole day ahead of us. So how do they do that shit?
I mean, hey,
I watched the game on Friday.
You're talking about some jet lag, man.
They're gonna give us They're gonna give us literally 7 days a week football.
Yeah, they might as well put
We're
one
getting
over
close to that now.
Might as well put one in Japan too. Japan likes college football.
There's talks now that the Big 12 wants to start playing more weeknight games.
They used to play games in Japan too.
Who did?
The NCAA.
Really?
Yeah, Oregon played USC over there one year. Back in the 80s. Yeah.
In Japan?
Yeah.
All right.
I believe you. You older than I am. I'll take your word for it.
Hey, you a little older than me.
Yeah, it was like way back in like the 1980s.
Way older than me.
Sure.
He's not way older than me, but he's probably about a decade older than me.
That's way older.
I might have to color my beard.
Told you gotta start doing that.
Don't collar it, man. Hey, gray shows wisdom, brother.
Yeah, that's what we call it. Wisdom.
It just shows how I've been a lot dumber, a lot longer.
You're so stupid.
You're a grandpappy now. Embrace it.
Grill myself. See, people get mad at me because I'm always grilling somebody. I grill my own damn self. So hell.
Hey, trust me, he don't discriminate. He even grills the people he likes.
Now I try not to do that. So I lose friends doing that shit.
Oh gosh. Well, you haven't lost me.
We always come back.
Yeah.
LSU has Nichols.
Had it with me a couple times. I thought he was gonna come out of the mountains and beat the shit out of me a few times.
Who, Coos? I don't blame him if he'd done it a couple of times.
One day I was about ready to beat the piss out of you.
Look,
I
man,
wouldn't blame him.
I got a bald head just like you, man. You can't be beating up on your fellow bald.
Oh my gosh. No, but JPC really knows how to push buttons sometimes.
Yeah.
He's really good. He used to be a lot worse. I remember when me and him first got together. Story time when we met on Twitter, by the way, which that was in 20. I can't remember what year that was. It was a long time ago though, and I just randomly messaged him. And,
I remember how I met Coos. He asked me to be on his show when he first started out. I think I was like your first guest, wasn't I? Coos?
You were either first or second. Yeah, definitely up there.
He's like, I ain't gonna make that mistake again.
I've had you back a couple times.
Yeah, learn by trial and error.
So me and did you hear what me and JPC are doing?
No.
We're starting a joint channel since we have so many Oklahoma people that follow. It's going to be called Two Crimson Nations. It's going to be mainly Alabama and Oklahoma.
Cool.
I mean, it's going to be obviously all of college football in general, but those are the primary focuses.
So is OCF still going to be around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to post like crazily. It's just going to be mainly like, we'll post like that week on the Oklahoma game, Alabama game. You know what I mean?
I got you.
We'll see how it works. Sometimes, you get all these channels, man. You think you can do it and you can't. You should know
Trust
that.
me, I'm dealing with that now.
I got that political channel. I ain't been back over in about 2 weeks on that political channel I got.
Yeah, our basketball channel's absolutely killing it right now because
I saw that, man. I was like,
it's killing it.
You started a basketball channel?
Oh, I've had one for about a year and a half.
It's called Hoops from the Hills.
Me and Mountaineer Paul talked football. We decided to, because he and I felt like we worked really good together, so we wanted to try doing a basketball channel because we already had our own football channels and neither one of us wanted to give it up. So we said, well, let's just do this basketball channel. And,
they done live streams getting 116 people.
It's doing really well now, man. And because West Virginia loves their basketball, and right now, we've got a new coach. He's basically doing he's basically doing a Coach Prime rebuild right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, hell, we won 9 games last year, so it was needed. But our fans are really in tune with basketball, even more so than football right now. So that channel's doing well.
Alabama's kind of getting that way with Nate Oates, and that's going to the Final Four. And our fans are really starting to come on strong for basketball as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of good recruits this year.
Yeah, we got another one today.
Yeah, SEC's starting to pick up their game in bats. See, that's what nobody talks about, that, man. SEC is not they might focus on football, but to say they don't care about basketball is, it's not accurate. Alabama's on the rise. Tennessee's good. Arkansas's good.
Yeah, after getting Calipari, Kentucky's going down a little bit.
But Kentucky's always going to be. I think they'll always be okay. But
yeah.
Scott Schrader's got a question for us. He says, "Hey, Outlaw, are you excited for Alabama to go to Wisconsin and play those evil Badgers in Madison this year?" That's going to be his first true test because our first 2 games are rather easy. I think we got Western Kentucky and somebody else that ain't worth a damn. And then we play Wisconsin the 3rd game of the year in Wisconsin. That'll be the first real true test for Kalen DeBoer. And then he plays Georgia 2 weeks after that. He has a week off after Wisconsin. Then his first SEC game, he gets Georgia in Tuscaloosa.
Welcome to SEC, man.
So we got Western Kentucky, South Florida, South Florida, I don't know if you remember last year or not.
Yeah, they almost beat us.
So we're not going to talk that.
They actually ended up going to a bowl game, though, so it didn't make us look so bad.
South Florida's pretty good right now. They're actually not bad.
They shouldn't be beating Alabama.
No. I was going to follow up with that. Yeah, they shouldn't be competing with Alabama, but they are one of the top G5 teams.
We played Wisconsin right after them, so we might be looking ahead. They might be able to catch us.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, I think we'll beat Wisconsin. But yeah, I think you got Georgia. Yeah, that's
At least we got them in Tuscaloosa. We ain't got to go over to the hedge.
We don't, in my opinion, we don't have that hard of a schedule. I believe the hardest. We got Oklahoma, we got LSU, right? We got Georgia. When you look at it, I think at the end of the day, when you look at like Oklahoma's schedule, you look at some of these other ones. It's
we ain't got a hard schedule, so you're saying Oklahoma's a gimme.
I'm not saying that at all.
I think you just said Oklahoma was a gimme.
I didn't say that one bit. You can try, but no.
He said the opposite of that, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
You said we got that hard schedule when we go to Norman, Oklahoma, and it's just Cupcake City.
I didn't say that, but you can keep trying. I don't know if you remember who you're podcasting with here right now.
Did you say we was going to schedule Oklahoma for homecoming next year? Is that what you said?
You're so stupid. So
did you put JD Wilmoth's name at the bottom just for me?
Did I? Where's it at? Did I put that down there?
Yeah, I'm just busting your chops. Yeah,
he might have been a donor last month.
He was. He deserved it.
I don't know if you saw the live stream,
his name ain't JD Wilmoth. His name's JD Big Mouth.
That's what I named him. At least for that. At least for that night, anyway.
Cruz fixing to come off the top ring rope, Macho Man style in that move.
Who is it?
JD Wilmoth is the one that made me, as JD would call it, or JPC would call it, lose my bowels on his channel.
Oh, you did?
You saw the meltdown.
Yeah. The one
Oh,
I had the meltdown.
it was that one when you had the meltdown.
Yeah, it was JD that
I was proud of you, man. You got some spark. I was like, damn,
Yeah, it was really entertaining.
Yeah, he's finna beat.
Yeah, it was at my expense though.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right.
Cruz made me delete the video.
I didn't make you delete that. But
you should have, though.
You put up another one making fun of me. I made you delete that one.
I did put a clip of it up.
Who needs enemies when you got friends like JPC?
Jonathan told me to put it up. I said, Jonathan.
Oh, no. He knows me better than that.
I got to film
I'm the one telling you to take the stuff down.
Jonathan's a sneaky one, man. He tries to act all nice, and then behind the scenes, he's like, do this shit.
No, I would never ask you to take the one down where I actually had the meltdown. That is what it is, but
JPC though, he'd be clipping parts of videos. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And exposing that crap.
Take that shit out of context.
Yeah, big time.
Oh man, it gets bad sometimes.
It's Jonathan's fault.
And the thing is, that wasn't even the time I wanted to kill him.
God.
Man, he always wanted to kill me for some reason.
No, it's only been about twice.
Well, that's it. Yeah, those are rookie numbers. I've been around this dude for a while, so.
Well, it's easy to talk shit when I'm behind the keyboard, right?
Yeah, then I get up to Tuscaloosa and he has his head between his legs. Won't even talk to me, all scared and shit.
Shit, I pushed you down the chair like twice.
Yeah, okay.
Tried to get up out of that chair twice. I said, man, you don't want to try that a third time now.
Let's go out drinking. He drinks half a beer and he's already like roasted. I mean, when you're 5'2",
we got to go to West Virginia and get some of that moonshine.
That's right.
I can get that out in Alabama.
I bet you can. Yeah.
Man,
that's not the good stuff. You got to go to the mountains and get the good
yeah,
stuff.
you're probably right on that though.
You're in Texas, aren't you, Jonathan?
Yeah, still in San Antonio.
You don't want to drink no shit from Texas like that.
No, we got plenty of tequila down here.
Ooh. Hey, today was Cinco de Mayo. Did you partake?
No, I didn't.
I did. I got it right here.
Me either. I intended to, but I never got around to it.
I may go do Uber later tonight though, because I'm sure it's gonna be popping off because of that.
You still doing Uber?
I do it occasionally on the side.
Gotcha.
Tell you a little secret. You got one of them Uber lights on your car?
I don't know.
If you turn that thing on, man, cops won't pull you over. You can drink and drive all you want. That thing.
Shut up! You're so stupid. Oh man.
Public service announcement: we do not condone drinking and driving on outlaw college football.
Exactly. Exactly.
Jonathan only condones doing mushrooms while doing a podcast.
Oh gosh, you're so stupid.
Now that I'm not making up. I actually did.
That one could be true. There was a first time for everything, and it was not a good time to do that.
I never tried shrooms. I've never done that kind of stuff.
Me either.
Let's see
here. Don't delete anything unless you're going to get banned.
I deleted it because Kuz asked me to. Because I was being an asshole and I felt bad about it.
Oh, now you got people on here asking about it. Here we go, JPC.
That's my fault. I brought it up.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I guess I could just, let it die a little bit.
I did a little bit about I've never done them before. I always wanted to try it. It's natural, right? So it's whatever. But I did, I believe, 4 grams.
Alabama's never beat Oklahoma and Norman, by the way. We've only played them there once, but technically we've never beat them in Norman. They got a winning record against us too. So it ain't just Texas that we got problems with. It's Oklahoma too. Yeah. Just not as profound. Oklahoma's up on us 3-2. There's one tie in there.
Do y'all think that, obviously I was on late, so y'all may have talked about this. Do y'all think that Texas and Oklahoma can be competitive in the SEC in year one?
Yeah.
I think they can. I think what's really going to piss them off is if Texas and Oklahoma make the SEC title game.
Oh, my gosh.
Because there's no divisions.
Yeah. That would be wild.
I sort of wish we had never got Missouri.
I don't see that happening, but it's possible.
It took Big Cojones Kelly this long to bring this up. I'm disappointed in you a little bit, Big Cojones. Normally it's right away. It's why though? It's because I shaved recently. That's why.
We call Jonathan Neckbeard, in case you didn't know, Cuz.
Yeah, I've heard you call him that about 100 times.
There you go.
He likes it.
I like it. I don't know about that. It sounds kind of weird.
I was trying not to bring it up, but
sounds kind of P Diddy-ish.
Big Cojones Kelly brought it up like Chris said, man. It's like it's a little old tired game there, so I was letting it slide today. But of course, somebody had to bring it up.
I'm surprised it took this hour and 10 minutes in. But yeah. Other than that, Kirby Smart making $13 million a year now, highest paid head coach. Smart move by Georgia, clearly keeping Kirby there. It's gonna be real interesting to see Oklahoma and Texas come over, and one of them, if they do make it to the SEC championship, prevents either Georgia or Alabama to go. I think it'd be real interesting. It's gonna be a fun year.
What do you think is going to end up happening with the ACC, Cuz? You're more in tune with the realignment stuff than I am.
Here, I think the ACC is going to. I obviously think Clemson and Florida State's going to leave, and may even lose a couple more teams. But I don't think the ACC is going to die necessarily. I don't think it's going to do like the Pac did. But I do think they're going to lose some teams and have to backfill probably with some G5 teams, and they'll probably end up losing some of their TV. Their TV revenue could end up going down because ESPN, I think, has the flexibility to renegotiate if the conference, membership changes. So
more Western teams to try to help Stanford and California.
They might. I mean, Washington State and Oregon State's the first two that come to mind, just because they're probably the best two brands out there because of they were already P5. Of course, you got Memphis, Tulane. You've got USF. You've got some other decent brands out there at the G5 level that they could add potentially, but and they could end up, I don't know. Will they keep their autonomous 5 status or autonomy 4 now? I have no idea.
I saw something from one of those guys that me and you both listened to. I'm trying to remember his name. It ain't Flugar, it's the other one. Greg Swain.
Yeah.
He was saying that the Big Ten was saying they was going to have a team in Texas by 2026.
Yeah, I've seen him post that a couple times. I kind of take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, also, it wouldn't surprise me because we all know that A&M is not happy about Texas coming into the conference. So maybe they jump ship and go to the Big Ten. I mean, it wouldn't be. I mean, it'd be a lateral move, but they would make a little bit more money actually, and
they would.
And against the Big Ten into Texas, which is a plus for them.
They'd have their own unique brand to recruit with.
Yeah, they could kind of be. I don't think they want to be in the same league as Texas if they can help it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But I don't know that that's the Big Ten's first choice. I think everything I'm reading is they want UNC is their number one target.
UT San Antonio. It's a pretty big town, and they've been
UTSA is growing.
I can see. I read something today. Well, never mind. Never mind. It ended up not being accurate, so scratch it. But I wouldn't be surprised if UTSA is one of those teams that does eventually get called up to one of the bigger conferences. But I'm not sure how many more times that's going to happen because we're already seeing in the last college football playoff negotiations, there was some pushback about paying SMU Power 5 level money. And I think the SEC and the Big Ten are going to get tired of sharing money with Group of 5 schools.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
that might be the Big 12's game at that point. Maybe they could add some of those teams.
But that ain't going to help them at that point if they're not going to add more revenue. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You saw the CBA they're proposing, right? That
I did. You talking about the one Ross Dellinger and Pete Thamel wrote about?
I believe so. Yeah, they wrote it. So this is going to make you really happy, JPC. They're trying to create a CBA now, collective bargaining agreement, to where if a player signs with an NIL, they have to play that bowl game.
Yeah, I like that.
So they got to play.
They can sign 2 and 3 year contracts too. They talk about coaches leaving. Well, coaches can just up and leave. Yeah, but coaches sign contracts and have to do buyouts.
Yep.
So, they should have to do the same thing. If they want adult money, they need to go by adult rules.
Yeah, so they're trying to get that pushed right now. The Fiesta Bowl and a couple other presidents and CEOs are getting together and proposing that if they sign any type of NIL, they will play every regular season game, any conference championship, and they have to play in that bowl game, or they got to either reimburse the money they were given, and there's going to be a fine to it. Like, there's a whole thing to it. Like, these guys need to be playing in the bowl games.
Couldn't they just go to the bowl game and just tank it, not play, just lay down?
Of course, but I mean that's still going to.
You
wouldn't want to do that.
Play up to their potential. I mean, they can just lay down and say they're injured or something.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good for your future, though.
Yeah,
that would look bad to your scouts to future NIL opportunities.
I agree with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they could. Yeah. But I would hope most of those guys are too competitive to do that, though.
The shit that happened with Florida State and Georgia was unexcusable. That was awful. That was an Orange Bowl. That's a big-time bowl game. I wouldn't want to miss Miami.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I really don't.
And they're trying now. I don't know if you know this. Help me out with this one, Coos. Do you know about what's going on with UAB? Right? They're trying. Mm-hmm. They're trying to do the what is it? The oh my gosh, unionize the players, right?
Yeah, but it's similar to, I mean, it's not, I don't know that it's a full-blown union, but they're trying to organize, yeah.
Like the NFL, correct? The players, like a players union.
Yeah, yep. And every player and the coaching staff has agreed to it, and they've actually signed a contract with some company called the Athlete or something like that, athlete.org or some organization. I may have got the name wrong, but it's something along those lines to where they're going to be representing the UAB players when they do get to start collectively bargaining and having sharing revenue and all this stuff.
Yeah,
they're going to be representing the players of UAB, and I will say that won't be. There will be other teams now probably get signed onto this.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot because I don't know. Do you know who's behind the Athlete?
I don't.
Let me look it up.
Scott Schrader says that FSU don't really want in the SEC. They want the Big Ten. That's probably why they got that AAU accreditation coming. They're trying to get AAU status, I guess.
Yeah, FSU has done a lot in the last few years to improve their academic standing and has really they have increased their research funding and all that kind of stuff, everything that Big Ten wants. The only thing they haven't gotten yet is AAU accreditation, but they've done pretty much everything else.
I want to say it's Trent Dilfer.
He's the coach.
Well, no. I know that, but I think he's the one that started it.
Okay, he may be. Yeah.
Because Dilfer's because he's the one that pushed for it. They said, and now he started it. So he's actually the owner. He's Canville, the former CEO. Yeah. So now it's passed on to Trent Dilfer. He's the actual CEO.
Interesting.
So because I guess he was the one pushing for these players to get fair treatment from this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
excuse me or something.
It's going to be interesting.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. I mean, I think within the next 40 days we're going to see major changes. Because we've got like these lawsuits. I think this big house lawsuit's going to be settled. We're going to start seeing revenue sharing with the players directly from the schools. We're going to start seeing, roster changes to roster limits and all this stuff.
Yep.
As part of that is all coming within the next probably 30 to 60 days.
Yeah, no, the roster limitation is probably going to tighten down more. If I had to guess, it's definitely going to come down. Because right now you're allowed 90 scholarship and 20, I think.
I was thinking it was 85 scholarship and 120 total.
There we go, 80. So then the rest can be walk-ons, right?
Yeah.
Walk-ons and preferred walk-ons. And I forgot the rules for the preferred walk-ons. There's rules to them as well.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I don't know that deep into the weeds of it, but yeah.
I think it's they come on as a walk-on the first year, and then the school has to offer them the scholarship the second year, or they release them from the scholarship. I believe that's how it works.
Scott Schrader said, I'm always playing devil's advocate. Is that true?
And that used to be my role. That used to be me. Believe it or not.
See, you just admitted to making me like that.
No, because I used to always question things the other way around because you would always get hot-headed, start slamming somebody or something.
See what you're doing?
No, and so I got to play devil's advocate to calm you down. Ezekiel
Cohen wants to know why Texas leads a series over Alabama. I don't know. I guess it's because they beat them. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. They're up on us 8-2, but if I'm going to be an apologist here for my team, they did play us like 6 or 7 times pre-World War One.
Yeah.
Not World War II, World War One, back when they had what was called the Southern Conference, and it was like 22 teams.
Wow.
And
forward pass just got invented. Actually,
the
literally just got invented.
Pass was invented in 1907. Yeah. Texas took advantage of that and beat us a couple of times, I guess. Maybe it was the forward pass that done it. I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know what to say about the long turds. They're a special breed.
Yeah, other than that, there's not really a lot going on.
How do West Virginia people feel about Texas? You know, y'all one of the newer Big 12 teams. Did y'all catch any of that sort of shitty attitude from Texas?
Yeah, we hate Texas. They're the biggest bunch of crap, but some of them, I shouldn't say all of them. I know a few Texas fans and podcasters that are really cool. But a lot of their fans and even some of their players and coaches are some of the biggest crybabies I've ever seen. Like when Tom Herman threw a hissy fit over the horns down thing.
Oh.
And then this past year, their basketball coach did the same thing. I'm like, man, quit crying. I mean, Jiminy Christmas.
They better do it now because Greg Sankey's not going to tolerate it.
I saw Steve Sarkisian, I swear. People said he didn't. But when they asked him about that horns down shit being a penalty, I just swore I saw him roll his eyes. He's probably like, damn, do I have to defend this shit? Do I have to defend Texas?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't really want to talk about that.
Yeah, their basketball coach went on a rant about it. Like, you're not going to come on our court and disrespect us like that, and yada, 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 yada.
He was being a fucking douche for real.
Yeah, it was like, and pretty much everybody in the country was like, dude, shut up and quit whining. And you know what? Don't get beat. Don't get beat by UCF on your home court.
Yeah.
And if you do, don't whine about it. Be a man and take the loss like a man.
Yeah.
And be done with it. I mean,
those days are over with.
Like Mark Richt saying Georgia run out of time. That's why Alabama beat them.
That was one of the funniest statements I've ever seen in the history of college football. What do you think contributed to your loss? Well, we ran out of time. Oh, you think?
Well, damn.
Like,
we all had a little more time, we'd all be undefeated.
Oh, man.
It's like Bill Belichick. Well, we got out-coached and outplayed.
Yeah.
What else can we say?
That dude is the most clean-cut, just...
You know, I hadn't got to see it yet. They did a roast of Tom Brady tonight. He was on one of the people that did the roasting.
What? They roasted Tom Brady?
They did.
And Bill Belichick roasted Tom Brady.
Bill Belichick was one of the roasters.
I have to see this.
Yeah, me too. Who's the bald guy that does all the roasting? That's on all the roasts.
I don't know his name. I don't know his name. But I know exactly what you're
Jeff
talking
something.
about.
It's Jeff something.
I love those though. The Comedy Central roast.
Yeah. Anyway, he was roasting Brady, and he made a comment about getting massages from Robert Kraft or something.
Oh my gosh!
Brady literally walked up to the podium and whispered in his ear, "Don't say that shit again."
Jeff Ross?
Not
Jeff Ross.
Jeff Ross.
Is it? Yeah, Jeff Ross. Yeah.
He said something about getting free massages or something, and Brady apparently took exception to it. Didn't think it was funny.
Brady looks like he'd try to control a roast. The idea of a roast is you don't get to control that shit, bitch. They're gonna jank your ass.
Well, now maybe Tom was just playing around when he did that. I don't know, but
probably from the allegations of P. Diddy and now Drake, and I don't know how much you're keeping up into that world, but
I'm not. No, I mean, I know that there's a big beef between Drake and
Kendrick
Lamar, but other than that, I don't. That's not my kind of music. Keeping up with
Texas crying about the horns down being disrespectful, but my thing is, if they're gonna do that, they need to make the horns up. The horns up needs.
It's just a harmless hand gesture. It's not like.
Do you not think it's disrespectful to go up to your opponent and do this in their face after a score? That's the same.
That's taunting. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not a penalty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. It's freaking football. I mean, it's not like they're playing checkers. or chess or tiddlywinks, as my baseball coach used to say. It's
It's
football.
getting to that point.
They
It's
do a
getting
lot
to
worse
that
on the
point.
bottom of those piles, man. They be biting each other.
Yeah, literally punching, kicking.
Yeah,
I mean, and you gonna cry over a harmless hand gesture?
I remember the Clemson player just going hands 5 deep, 5 fingers deep,
Oh,
looking at
God.
Clemson guy's ass when he's laying on the sideline,
Yeah, good
hand
Lord.
right up in his crack. And he said, "Well, we do that. Oh, yeah, that's normal. We do that. We do that in the locker room all the time."
No.
So I started calling them Dabo and the Duty Diggers.
What? What? Oh my gosh.
They asked Alabama players, they're like, "What would you do if that happened to you during the game?" And they're like, "Yeah, there would be some issues. Someone will be throwing a flag because there'll be a fight."
Who was it? Clemson was playing?
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Ohio State. That's right. I
I
couldn't
don't
remember.
normally take up for Ohio State, but damn.
That dude was on the ground on his stomach, and that dude just came over and just scooped him up. Like,
It
whoop.
wasn't like he just touched him with
I remember
his
watching.
finger, man. He took his whole hand and just.
Did I just see what I just did? I see
Yeah.
what I think I did.
He sat there and played with that shit for a while, man. The hell, man? Is he trying to get the Jack in the Box to come out or what?
Yeah, that was a little disturbing, to be honest with you.
We would do that all the time. I'm like, damn, Dabo, what are you teaching them boys in the locker room?
What was it, Dabo? What?
Dabo and the Duty Diggers.
You're so stupid. Big Cones Kelly has a $2 donation.
But they're all about, Dabo's still not, he's all about not doing that NIL still. He's going to screw himself doing that.
Yep.
How will title, or the time, I'm assuming, is be
Title
affected?
How will Title IX be affected by the CBA? Do y'all know?
That's one of the question marks they have right now. They don't know yet.
Exactly. They don't know.
Well, I mean, I ain't got nothing against females in sports, man, but it ain't got nothing to do with gender to me. It should be about what's bringing in the money.
Here's my theory on what I think is going to happen. At least I don't know that it'll impact. It may not happen to the Big Ten, the SEC as much, but the school like the Big 12, the ACC, maybe even the G5 schools and down, because of Title IX, if they have to pay out all this revenue sharing money and stuff to players, they're going to have to make some cuts somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to be able to cut women's sports.
No.
Right? Because you're going to have to apply with Title IX. So they're probably going to have to cut men's sports. But not the nonprofit men's sports like
sailing,
track and field, sailing, rowing, rest, whatever. Sports that don't make money.
Rifle.
Well, yeah. If West Virginia cuts rifle, we'll never win another national title in anything.
Yeah. And is that a spectator sport or no?
Is it a what?
Spectator sport or no? Like, can you go and watch that?
Honestly, I think you can, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think you can.
What sport is that again?
Rifling.
Rifling?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, West Virginia's really good at that, right?
Yeah, I think they won. They won multiple national championships. They finished runner-up this past year, I think, but they won several.
Yeah, I know they've always been. That's one thing JPC got me on with West Virginia. I've believe it or not, when me and him first got together and started doing podcasts, we've always talked positive about West Virginia. We always have. It's just so funny that you're a West Virginia fan when you came along.
Yeah, it's. We're most of the SEC. What I've noticed is most SEC teams and fans respect West Virginia.
Yeah,
we don't get the same. We don't get that from some fans in the Big Ten and ACC, for obvious reasons. But I think culturally, West Virginia I think West Virginia fans and SEC fans are a lot alike.
Yeah, like if you tailgate, that would be a perfect combination, in my opinion.
If y'all had just like one big city in your state, man, that might help y'all out, get y'all in a league somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how your biggest city is. So is it Charleston, West Virginia? Or?
Yeah, it's not even 100,000 people, I don't think.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Dang, I don't realize it was that small.
I hope they get away from that and do what you was talking about at one time, Cuz, and start looking for, traditional rivalries and stuff, because I wouldn't mind seeing West Virginia and Pittsburgh added to the SEC. I know Pittsburgh's a little far north, but we're not going by geography anymore anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So West Virginia and Pitt, the backyard brawl will be an excellent traditional rivalry to add to your conference.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, I'd love to see them in. Louisville would be a good ad. Virginia Tech would be a great ad.
Enter Sandman. I just love their entrance.
Yeah, North Carolina. The 4 I'd like to have are Louisville, number 1, because I think they're the top outside of the FSU, Clemson, UNC.
Come off the SEC or the Big 12?
Big 12. I think Louisville's the next. I think Louisville's the best fit for the Big 12 out of all the schools in the ACC. Then, obviously, again, I'm assuming now that Clemson, Florida State, UNC, and Miami are gone, right?
Yeah.
They're all in the Big 10 or the SEC. Louisville would be my next pick, then Virginia Tech, then Pitt, and then probably NC State.
I would like West Virginia and Pittsburgh in there because it would open you up to 2 states. West Virginia's not a huge state, but you'd also get because you got a lot of West Virginia people that live in Pennsylvania, probably. West Virginia.
Oh, yeah. We have
so
probably.
You would get the Pennsylvania market as well as the West Virginia.
Oh, you're talking about adding to the SEC. I misunderstood your question.
Yeah, I was talking about adding West Virginia and Pittsburgh to the SEC.
Yeah, but I think if you add one of those, you don't need both because West Virginia probably gets 25-30% of the Pittsburgh market anyway.
Yeah.
They share the same television market. So I think if you get one, you don't need the other. Yeah. So if I were the Big Ten, if I were the SEC and I was wanting to take 2 Big 12 teams, I would go get West Virginia and Kansas.
Yeah. Well, basketball would be great. Basketball would be a great addition.
Because Kansas is a contiguous state to Oklahoma and Missouri.
That's right.
And you get a great basketball school. They're on the rise in football. I think Kansas's preference would be to go to the Big Ten because they're an AAU school. But it wouldn't surprise me to see. A lot of people say Oklahoma State. I don't see SEC taking 2 schools from the same state. That would be shocking. I mean, Texas obviously is an outlier, but it's Texas.
Yeah,
it's Texas.
Oklahoma's a smaller state.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and I'm not saying Oklahoma State doesn't deserve it. They're a great brand.
They'll come back where you got Mississippi and Mississippi State and Alabama and Auburn, but those are grandfathered in.
Exactly. So that's like the other day I did a video. I was debating people that a lot of Big 12 fans want Duke in the conference, and I'm like, Duke would be like a fish out of water in the Big 12. Why do we want Duke? And I mean, they're the seventh best school in the country academically. The median in the Big 12 is 120th academically. They're not going to want to associate themselves with the Big 12. But then people are like, well, what about Vanderbilt and the SEC? I said, it's different because Vanderbilt's a founding member of the SEC. You're talking apples and oranges here, So
Ezekiel Cohn wants me to face off against Uncle Lou.
That would be classic.
I've had a request for that a few times. He blocked me because I called him Auntie Louise. So
Auntie Louise.
You need to pass that along to him, Ezekiel. Tell him his name is Auntie Louise.
He blocked you?
Yeah, he blocked me.
He's like the biggest trash talker on the internet.
Yeah. He.
Well, I called him Auntie Louise, and then I called him the Georgia Hedge Pissers, and he got a little pissed off about it. So I guess that's why he blocked me. I'm not sure why he blocked me.
Interesting.
But you can pass that along to me, Ezekiel. Tell him if he wants to come on here, he can come on here.
I respect Uncle Lou and his work, but I'm just not a fan of it. It's not my cup of tea.
No, me neither.
But I mean, he has a huge following, and he's doing a great job over there. But
he does. I want to steal it.
Cup of tea.
JD Wilmot says in 2014 Sugar Bowl, several of the Alabama players opted out because they were pouting because they didn't make the national championship. I don't remember anybody sitting out that game because A.J. McCarron played, Derrick Henry played. I remember that was his freshman year. And going into that game, our starting running back was hurt. Who opted out?
We didn't have any players opt out, but they didn't really come to play, to be quite honest with you, because they got beat and knocked out of the national title game and probably weren't really into it that much. And so –
was that the year they got beat by Boise State or Utah?
Alabama got beat by Utah in 2008.
Yeah.
This was 2014.
Yeah, we didn't have any – I don't remember any Alabama players opting out of that game.
They played Oklahoma. He's saying that Alabama had players opt out. Back then, you didn't have the opt-out shit going on.
Yeah, because I know for a fact A.J. McCarron played. I know for a fact Derrick Henry played. Who was T.J. Yeldon was the starter, I believe, and T.J. Yeldon just got hurt. like 4 days prior to the game, he tore something. So I think Henry was the starter. I don't remember any opt-outs though, for sure.
I think JD's just trying to stir us up because that's JD.
Who was
because
we still had AJ McCarron as the quarterback. He started in that game.
He did.
For some reason, I don't remember that game.
Actually, what's his name? Derrick Henry was actually doing really good in that game.
Yeah.
Yes, we just stopped running the ball with him. And he was like a freshman then.
Yeah, it was just yeah.
Who was the star players at Oklahoma in 2014?
I don't know. I want to say they weren't really stars to me, but they were like.
Was that when they had like Blake Bell and all those?
Yeah,
guys?
Yeah.
Was Jason White the quarterback or no?
It was Blake Bell. He had one good game. He's like Steven Garcia. Nobody knows who the hell he is now. So.
Well,
Steven Garcia.
He wasn't even. They had moved him from linebacker to quarterback or something, if I remember
Dude,
right.
Don't ever talk about Steven Garcia again. That dude had no good games except against Alabama, and he puts up like 500 yards thrown to one player.
Right? Is that who we're talking about?
Yes. Killed us. Dude.
I remember it.
These people are trying to set me up with these matches, like wrestling matches. Who's I Smoke Hip Hop? The Dion fan. Who is that? Y'all know who that is?
I have never.
Why don't you just go against USCJ?
Yeah, give me USCJ.
That dude, I'm not going to lie, though. His channel has blown up.
It has. He's got 5,800 subscribers now.
He's good.
He's doing good.
USCJ is extremely good at what he does.
Well, I mean, it helps too.
He's not very knowledgeable outside the year 2000.
It's just like he has access to get on the field and stuff.
Yeah, but he's a young. I don't think he's very old either, JPC.
No, he's not.
Oh, I mean, some of the stuff I know, I wasn't born yet. It's just all you gotta do is read a book. You know.
The first couple interactions between us two, USCJ didn't know who he was talking about, and they were actually quite popular USC players.
Gotcha.
Back in the day, and it rubbed JPC the wrong way.
Yeah, he's big on history.
I brought up a coach at USC, and he didn't know who he was. So
and
yeah.
I mean, if you ask any hardcore West Virginia fan, even the young ones, who Don Nealon is, they're gonna know.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So but USCJ.
It's not like you didn't know what the score was to USC versus Delaware State in 1952. That's not what I was saying. It was like something pretty obvious to me.
I get you.
He's good at.
But he's decent. He's got a good monotone about him. I like his voice.
He's entertaining. He has a great delivery.
Yep. He gets on the field with the players.
He's extremely unique. Yeah.
I mean, he's doing something right.
Yep.
I just like to aggravate him a little bit.
Yeah, we know. You love aggravating people.
You had him on your show quite a few times, didn't you, Jonathan?
Yeah.
He had me and him
when he first started, I mean, he was under, I think he was like 200 subscribers when he came on my show. And he was just starting out asking me how I did my channel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he is really young, of course. And he got, he said he applied, I forgot what he applied for, some access to the field. And he ends up getting access to the practices, the players and stuff like that. So no, he worked for it though. You have to pay for that stuff and like do your homework. So it's his, I believe maybe
Trevor Knight.
Trevor Knight.
I had him and Blake Bell mixed up.
There we go.
Same narrative. Ain't done shit since. Beat Alabama. One fame to glory, I guess. Like Manziel. We made Manziel the Heisman, by the way.
That one play where he fumbled the ball, spun around the touchdown.
Yeah, like an ass clown juggling balls or some shit back there, and he's through the shit.
And then he releases a Netflix documentary talking about how he used to get wasted, literally, like the night before the games, and come in and be sweating it all out and never read playbooks.
You know, Joe Namath and Kenny Stabler used to do that shit out here at Alabama.
Yeah.
Back in the 60s.
I mean, I didn't know that, but have you watched that documentary? Have either one of you watched it?
I have not.
Over Johnny Manziel. They did the untold story of Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, I did watch it.
I heard about it, but I didn't watch it.
Where the Browns were like, he has zero time on the playbook because they track it with the iPads and it shows how much you're looking at film and reading the playbook. They're like, his is zero. And they were laughing. They're like, no. Literally, he's never looked at it.
Brett Favre didn't either.
Yeah, well, Johnny Manziel's not Brett Favre.
I know. I was being facetious.
Yeah, I figured.
And today's NFL is different too. It's not the same as it used to be.
No.
Jonathan don't catch sarcasm. Well, you have to sort of lead him a little
I
bit.
don't either most of the time, so it's all good.
I've been
Shut up,
teaching him.
JPC. You ain't teaching me nothing. I'm all pissy over here now.
Oh, man, I got a big orange vowel in here. We was just talking about Knoxville, too. Y'all think Tennessee will have a pretty good year in football this year?
No. To be quite honest, who's at quarterback? I forgot his name.
Nico Iamaleava.
I'm glad
that dude. That guy. I believe he's an up-and-coming star. There's no doubt about it, but I believe they're not going to have a great year. Probably 9-3, 8-4.
Yeah, I don't know enough about him to really have an educated answer. That's the only thing I know is I know some people that are Tennessee fans, and they taught me how to pronounce his name, and I still can't do it.
I've said his name 10 million times, and I still can't remember it. So,
well, you sort of had to break it down into 3 paragraphs when you was talking.
yeah, I know, because I'm like, I remember actually doing that.
Iamaleava, I think, or something.
I remember when. Do you remember when Tua first started at Alabama?
Yeah, man,
nobody.
I can't even say my own quarterback's name.
Tagovailoa. Like, I mean, people are all over.
But it's not spelled like it sounds at all.
No. Nope, not at all. Like, yeah.
It's like Favre with it being VR instead of RV.
Yep.
No.
I don't think we will beat Alabama or Georgia.
He says that we won't beat out. I don't think we'll beat Alabama or Georgia, but I hope for 10-2.
It's gonna be growing pains.
I'm not sure about Josh Heupel, man. I don't know, man. I have to wait and see. I know he beat Alabama at one time, but then he followed it up by not really doing as good the next following year. Where'd they end up last year? 9-4 or something?
Who's that?
Tennessee.
Yeah. Iamaleava. There we go. Iamaleava.
Yeah.
There we go. See, thank you, Big Orange Ball. See, that helps. Like, because for real, like, that's a hard name to say to me.
They're down here trying to pronounce it for you. DJ Ugga Boogie.
What?
They're talking about DJ Uyunglele, probably.
God damn.
Like,
you heard
names.
You heard me saying them names like that, man. You like fluid with that shit. It's like,
well, I mean,
he's Spanish fluidly
every day. So,
Cruz got it going on, boy.
I practiced that one in the mirror.
I be done had
the mirror.
I'm kidding.
I be done had brain sprain.
I'm kind of anal about pronouncing names right.
Yeah, I try to. That's kind of a.
I try to be. I mean, I'm not obviously get them wrong a lot.
I do too. I see them. I'm like, man, I'm gonna look like an idiot when I try to say.
But I really try hard to get them right.
I even say it. I'm like, man, I think to myself, damn, I should have practiced this shit before I got on here.
Before we talked about Kalen DeBoer, the first video, I had to make sure I went on YouTube and I'm like, how's ESPN saying his name?
Yep.
That's literally what I did.
Well, our new basketball coach is Darren DeVries, but he spells his first name Darian. So I've always called him Darian DeVries. And finally, I heard our AD say it, and I was like, it's not Darian, it's Darian. But even some of the West Virginia media people were saying Darian, like they weren't pronouncing it right either.
Yep.
So until I heard the actual athletic director announce his name, I was like, okay, it's Darren, not Darian.
Well, the first week we hired him, the football fans that were getting in my car when I was doing Uber they was calling him Debo instead of DeBoer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, y'all think this is Friday, the movie? You got Debo bicycles and shit?
This ain't the West Coast, bro. That's a West Coast thing.
You got fired for stealing boxes?
Yeah.
Steve Lee
on your day off
says that Oklahoma will win 11 games with a toss-up at LSU. Yeah. I don't know about that one.
So Oklahoma decided to stay in the Big 12? I'm trying to say
11 games.
They can't even win 11 games in the Big 12. How are they going to win 11 games in the SEC?
Not with that schedule. They're not winning 11 games.
I'm looking up the schedule right now, and that's why I was like, don't they have a?
I don't remember them all, but I remember it being brutal.
Well, let's see here. That's my job here. They play Houston, Temple, Tulane. Their first 3 games: Temple, Houston, Tulane.
3 wins.
Then they got Tennessee at Auburn, Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Maine, Missouri, Alabama, LSU.
I'll give you Maine.
Temple, Houston. Damn, I got 4 cupcakes.
Alabama's a loss. LSU's a loss. Probably a loss.
If you got to go to Auburn, you don't know. There's no telling what you're going to get down there, man.
Guys, I'm telling you, Hugh Freeze is a hell of a football coach.
It's damn voodoo down there.
It is.
And
it really is.
Yeah, and Hugh Freeze is. I think Hugh Freeze is one of the most underrated in America.
Okay. Who here is going to say that Oklahoma's going to beat Texas?
I'm not.
That's not a given.
Just because you beat them last year, don't mean you're going to beat them this year, right? I mean, because after all, Texas did win 49-0 2 years ago, but they didn't win the next following year, did they?
As much as I hate Texas, Steve Sarkisian's got them playing good football right now.
And at Missouri's, they're not a joke right now. Steve
Lee said he wanted to bet me $150 for the Bama game. I'm talking about $1.50. That's all I can afford.
Uber drivers, bro.
I'll give you an Uber discount. How about that?
Oh, man.
I've bet a few people on that game already. I can't bet you, Steve. I'm going to owe a bunch of people. I already said I think Alabama's going to beat y'all in Norman. It's going to hurt my feelings that day that I have to root against y'all, but I guess I'll have to. I don't know if I'll go up there and wear an Alabama jersey, though.
Hey, when do you guys think the SEC will go to 9 conference games?
They're not going to do it in the next couple of years, I know.
Yeah.
You think they'll do it by 2026?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because my fear is West Virginia and Alabama are supposed to play a home and home in 26 and 27. And I'm afraid that once you guys go to 9 conference games, that game will get nixed.
Well, see, what people complain about is they're like, well, they're not having to play 9 conference games, so they got an easier route to the playoff. That's not really true if we're scheduling tough non-conference opponents like West Virginia and USC and Wisconsin. You know, we're playing tough teams out of conference. We're playing at least 1 or 2 tough conference games every year. South Florida's no slouch either. So
I think it's 26 and 27. I might have my years mixed up. But
Big Orange Bow says, are all y'all Alabama fans? No, me and JPC are fans. And then you got the outlier below us.
I'm a West Virginia fan.
There we go.
I'm actually a half-breed. I'm half Sooner, half Oklahoma. I mean, half Alabama. They converted me. They're my second favorite team now.
Well, that's not converting.
It used to be West Virginia. I'm moving down a spot.
That's fine. I'm cool with that.
Y'all top 5, though.
We'll take it.
Something about some fans that's crazy enough to burn couches. I know y'all don't do it anymore, but
I want to see it. If I come to West Virginia for a game, they win, I don't give a shit if they lose. I'm burning the couch somewhere.
You'll go to prison. So.
Yeah. What, for a day or 2?
Nah. If you do it in the city limits, it's a felony now. But
well, shit, we can go somewhere outside the city.
Find place out in the country. You can burn all the hell or whatever you want to burn.
There we go. Get us some moonshine.
Yep.
A couple couches.
But no, I want that Alabama, and I'll be honest with you. I think if Ren Baker had his choice, he would drop that series too because he's wanting to play less Power 5 teams and more FBS or more Group of 5 teams.
Yeah,
because, just like all the other schools are doing.
You think West Virginia will try to get out of it?
I don't know that they'll try to get out of it because they'd have, but I think it could end up being a casualty of you guys going to 9 conference games plus him wanting out. It might just be like, hey man, this is better for both of us to not do this game this year. You know?
Yeah.
I hope not because I want to see it.
I would like to come up there.
And I'd like to tailgate with you guys at some point.
I've never been to West Virginia either, so.
And I've never been to Tuscaloosa, so.
You'll like Tuscaloosa.
I will try my best to make it.
Why would he like Tuscaloosa?
You know exactly why.
Why would he just automatically like it?
I'm just telling you, man. This just epic. The scene.
It's all right.
The scene, man. It's just the scene out there.
The college scene, college town.
Yeah, it is. It's just like
it is a college town.
Yeah, that's all I got here. University of Alabama. Ain't got much else going for us.
I
Birmingham,
mean, it's the same thing here, man. I mean, it's
Birmingham's about an hour from us, so we got a good separation from them. That's a good thing, actually.
Yeah.
I went to Orange Beach a few years ago, or not Orange Beach, but the next beach down.
From
What's it
Orange
called?
Beach?
Yeah,
Not Pensacola, but Jesus.
it's in Alabama, right on the border.
Oh, not Miramar. I know what you're talking about, but I have no idea.
Orange Beach is like 30, 45 minutes away.
Yeah. JBC, how do you not know this?
What's that?
The beach in Alabama that's not Orange Beach. It's right. It's like 35, 40 minutes from Orange Beach.
Gulf Shores?
Gulf Shores. We stayed
There we
Gulf
go.
Shores
Jesus.
we went to Gulf Shores for vacation a few years ago.
I was paying attention to the comment section. My bad.
Won't do it again.
Yeah.
We were out on this island. There was not a grocery store within 30 minutes.
And don't stay in Gulf Shores. Stay on Orange Beach.
Well, that's what we learned, but we didn't know that, and we learned the hard way.
Now, you pass Orange Beach and you get on the Florida state line, you go to Perdido Key.
Yeah.
There's not shit out there either.
Yeah, we were literally, I mean.
Orange Beach is where you need to be.
Yeah, it was, but it was so far, we didn't want to drive all the way to Orange Beach in the evenings for something to do, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah. And there's another little town on further down called Spanish Fort.
I remember I think we may have rode to Spanish Fort just one day sightseeing or whatever.
Yeah, it's got some historical stuff down there.
Yeah.
Some kind of war shit.
Yep.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that actually wasn't far from, I don't think that was far from where we stayed now that I think about it.
You don't go to Alabama to go to the beach. Period.
You can go to Orange Beach.
That's where a lot of the coaches go. Dana Holgerson, Mike Leach used to go there a lot. I think Neil Brown even goes there.
Yeah, go to Orange Beach.
Terrible.
Down there next to the border and go down to Floribama. It's a good bar down there.
We like we've been to the Florida beaches a lot. We go to Florida beaches mostly now.
Yeah,
if you down that far, you might as well just go on over to Panama City or Destin.
That's where we went
Destin's
last year.
Better.
Yeah, that's where we stayed last year. This year we're going all the way down to closer to Tampa.
Oh yeah, you're going to Clearwater Beach.
Close by, yeah.
Woo! You can get a hold of the oh my gosh, what were they called again? You know what I'm talking about, JPC.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Clearwater.
That's a beach.
No, the religion.
Oh shit, Scientology.
Scientologists.
Is that where Scientology's at?
That's their capital or whatever.
I have no idea.
Clearwater, yeah. They bought up like 30% of the city.
Down there. Chris is going to join with Tom Cruise.
There it is. Him and John Travolta and Tom Cruise are going to hang out.
Yeah, I wish.
Actually, I don't hold the rods together.
Katie Holmes had to divorce his ass. She's like, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, he's left the church now, he says.
Tom Cruise has?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Y'all didn't know that?
No, I know Leah Remini.
I think he's actually openly spoken out against him now.
Leah Remini grilled the shit out of him.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, I think he was. I think it had something to do with his kids and his family, and I don't know. It was. I don't remember the whole detail, but anyway, yeah, I didn't know that's where where their church or where they were headquartered at.
That's their headquarters. They got their big ship out there, and everything is in Clearwater.
Wow.
My brother used to live.
Ship?
Yes, they have a.
That's that L. Ron Hubbard shit.
Yes,
where they do the Epstein shit at.
They take them out into the water, the Gulf for like so many days, like weeks at a time, and they train them. Yes, out there. Yes.
Interesting. No, I ain't going for that. I'll stay away from that mess.
It's wild. We're on here talking about Scientology.
You don't want to be a Scientologist?
I watched the whole documentary. I watched some weird documentaries, man. I watched more.
I like watching those kind of documentaries.
I do too.
I mean, even though I have no desire to be part of that, I find it interesting to see. And I'm like, I'll sit back and think, how can somebody believe that or think that, whatever. But anyway,
I'm watching the O.J. Simpson documentary right now. Was it O.J. Made in America or whatever it's called?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Man, I didn't realize how he actually thought. Like when he got on there and said, "I'm not black," I was like, "Okay, he actually said that." Like he does not view himself at all that way.
You finished it yet?
No, I haven't. I've already seen it one time when it first came out.
I was gonna say I don't want to give it away.
Back in the day, but
yeah, jurors basically admitted that they acquitted him just because of race.
Yep. But I mean, it's just like yeah.
Because of all the stuff the Rodney King stuff that just happened, and they had all the race riots going on in L.A. and all that stuff, and they were bitter about it, and rightfully so. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not saying that was the right thing to do, but No,
I got you.
Scott Schrader backs you up. He says that Scientology pretty much owns half of the buildings in downtown.
They do. They own the parks. If you go on YouTube, you can find Clearwater where people post videos. They get kicked out of the parks because the Scientologists will come up and be like, "You're not a Scientologist. You can't be here."
Wow.
And they own the park, so they have to
thankfully,
leave.
we're not staying in Clearwater. We're staying in another beach. But
Steve Lees says that you're sleeping on Oklahoma, Jonathan, and they will wake your ass up by week 6.
I don't know.
So what's going on before that? Who's the first 5 games for Oklahoma again? I'm just wondering why it's going to take that long to wake us up. You pulled the schedule up, didn't you?
Yeah, the first 5 games are Temple, Houston, Tulane, Tennessee, and Auburn.
They almost lost to Tulane last time they played them.
They could. I mean, there's a possibility they're 3-2 after 5.
They could lose to Tennessee.
I don't think they will. But
I don't think so either.
I think they're overlooking Auburn. Going down to Auburn's a booger.
In Auburn?
I think they're 4-1. I think they're 4-1 in week 5.
Yeah. So what's week 6? That's when they play Texas?
Week 6 is when they play Texas. I mean, they got Alabama and LSU back to back.
Uh-oh. That's gotta hurt.
To end the year, they got Alabama and Norman, so home, and then at Baton Rouge.
See, that's what's going to get them right there, probably. Well, don't they have a week off between those 2 games? You get 2 week offs this year.
November 23rd. No, they don't.
Because I know there's 2.
They get a week off after Missouri before they play Alabama.
Oh, why y'all got to have a week off to play us?
I'm going to give Oklahoma fans a little bit of advice, or not advice, but be prepared, man. I have been inside. I've only been to 1 game in a SEC stadium, and it was at LSU. I've never experienced anything like it in my life.
That was me with Texas A&M. I've never been to LSU, but the Texas A&M game I went to.
Yeah, when West Virginia played LSU in Baton Rouge, it's been over a decade ago. I was privileged to go. That is the loudest atmosphere I've ever been in. Now, I've been to a lot of big games in Morgantown. It didn't compare. The freaking stadium was literally shaking underneath.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. You tell me they got Missouri, Alabama, and LSU.
Yeah.
3 games back to back against teams that won 10 games.
Yep. But what I was going to say is
that's a hell of an ending.
They're going to be playing in stadiums like that every single week.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Texas come here and won, but could you do that every week? Is what I'm asking Texas. Could you do that every other week?
I mean, that's what you're going to have to ask both of them. Not just one.
I mean, the Big 12 fan bases are passionate and they can get loud, but I mean, we've got 60,000 people max in our stadiums. You're talking that level of passion and that level of volume multiplied by a third or more.
60,000. I mean, you'll have 20,000 tailgating.
Right.
Like it's
just a different. I don't know if they know what they're getting into. I'll be honest.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't know Texas A&M was the way it is. So I went to the Alabama-Texas A&M game 3 years ago when Texas A&M beat Alabama.
Yeah.
And that was a night game. And it was the record second. There was the second most people. It was 106,000 and some change in Texas A&M. And that literally the stadium was shifting. I've never, like you said, LSU was doing that. I've never felt that before.
I went to a game in South Carolina. I was in the upper deck, and the damn upper deck was moving.
Well, that makes sense.
That shit scared me. It's like, damn.
You're in the upper deck. I shouldn't be moving down below.
Yeah, I was in the lower section, and it was not. Now, I had an absolutely awesome time. The fans at LSU were some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Same with A&M.
I got invited to more tailgate parties.
I did.
It was awesome.
I did too when I went to the bowl game. Alabama sucked. We went to Shreveport, played Colorado, and the LSU fans were down there, and they gave me tickets to tents for free food and booze.
Yeah.
And
Oh man, it was great. I had a great time, great experience. But and they won the game. No surprise, but it was. I got to see Patrick Peterson return the kick for a touchdown and do the Heisman pose in the end zone.
Steve Lee says
dude was a freak athlete, or is a freak athlete.
Steve Lee said it will take that long because you don't believe Tennessee, Auburn, and Texas are all wins for Oklahoma.
Still will never forget that night.
Yeah. I remember your video on that.
Man, yeah, that was
I'm not saying that Oklahoma can't beat those three teams, Steve. I'm just saying that you act like they're gimmies, and they're not gimmies. To say that Tennessee and Auburn and Texas are just, dismissing them, I just don't understand that. I don't see how you can dismiss those three teams because all three of them have won national championships.
If you overlook Auburn, they're going to beat you. They're known for that, especially in the Plains. Alabama has a hard time. Look, if there's one team that's going to beat Alabama,
then we had to throw a freaking Hail Mary to win that game.
It's going to be Auburn. And I don't think people understand that.
Do people don't understand it's Auburn? Auburn, it ain't like Auburn. I mean, Auburn, I don't know if I'll call them a blue blood, but they're damn near it. If they're not.
They still have 4- and 5-star players.
If they weren't in the same state with Alabama, they'd be a blue blood probably.
Like, look at their recruiting classes. People don't pay attention to how good Auburn's recruiting classes are. They're usually top 10 every year. So they're not like, I believe this year they were like 5th or 6th. I mean, I actually haven't looked at that lately.
Scott Schrader agrees. He thinks that maybe OU's overlooking the game at Auburn. That's a huge mistake. Don't overlook Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt Oklahoma and Texas can compete in the SEC. I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah,
they're not going to go in. It's going to be a totally different world.
Auburn's 7th.
Oklahoma dominated the Big 12 for how long? A decade or more. It's not going to be like that anymore. And I'm a Big 12 guy. I mean, I was one of the teams getting dominated.
Well, Oklahoma brags about that, about having 50 conference championships. But back in the day, they didn't really have many good teams in that conference. Kansas State used to be one of the worst teams in college football until the 90s. They had the worst winning percentage of all time of anybody.
Yeah, but they also had Nebraska in the league, too, that was good. Missouri was good.
Well, actually, back in the 1950s, Nebraska wasn't that good.
Well, the 50s, yeah. You're going way back.
They're talking about the conference titles they got back in the 40s and the 50s. Y'all wasn't playing nobody back then.
That's fair.
I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just saying don't act like you're going to come in here and dominate the SEC. And as much as I don't like Tennessee and Auburn, I don't see how you can be dismissive like they're easy wins.
I would say 99% of Oklahoma fans are probably not dismissive of it.
Yeah, and Auburn, I don't know. They lose a lot of players. That's their thing too, and they're coaching ever since the Gus bus. Yeah,
Auburn can't keep a head coach down there. That's what the problem.
Well, their boosters are too hands on. They're
very, very, very meddlesome. They always meddle something, and
I'll be anxious to see if Hugh Freeze can handle that there because I think if anybody can, he can. But we'll see.
If they don't have a coach there that's going to let them have access to what they want access to, they make it hard on them.
Yeah, they do. Sounds like Texas.
And, Alabama.
My God, they fired Tommy Tuberville for crying out loud.
Yeah, no, Tuberville had won 6 in a row against Alabama.
Yeah, he beat Alabama on a regular basis.
And got screwed out of playing the national title that one year.
Yeah, that's one, yeah.
If we had a 14 playoff back in, if we had 14 playoff, Auburn would have been in the national championship probably.
Yep.
Yeah, I interviewed their defense coordinator.
I remember that.
Al Borges, yeah.
Yep.
He talked about it. He wrote a book on it.
Who wrote a book?
Al Borges, the guy I interviewed.
Oh, yeah.
That was Auburn's defense coordinator at the time. And, yeah, he wrote a book on it. That's when I was in my heyday on my channel. I was involved with everything.
Well, you sure give me a lot of nice little nuggets.
Me too.
I mean, I would have probably never been able to podcast if you hadn't showed me some stuff. I would have been screwed.
No, I believe you guys would have found. You guys definitely would have been fine. Just maybe take a little bit longer. But I spent a lot of time on YouTube.
Kills would have been fine. I would have been lost.
Yeah, you would have been lost.
And I didn't know anything about like the algorithm and all that stuff. He taught me a lot about that.
Yeah, I mean, like, releasing at certain times too. Now, I know to look. I release my shit usually between 2 and 6 now.
Yeah, I pretty much release my videos about the same time every day, to be honest.
Yeah. Consistency is key. But yeah.
Steve Lee says we haven't been following the Sooners. I've been following the Sooners. What are you talking about?
My team's been in the Big 12 for over 10 years now, so I've been following them at least that long.
I talk to a lot of Sooners. I mean, you've been watching my channel. I mean, a lot of my stuff is more Oklahoma than it is Alabama.
And I don't think we say anything bad about Oklahoma, have we?
No, I haven't. I just said that to be dismissive of Tennessee, Auburn, and Texas like they're gimmies I think is getting your hopes up for you're gonna get.
God, my team beat your team once in a decade, so
You might get highly disappointed if you look over Auburn or Tennessee, looking towards Texas, because Tennessee and Auburn might both beat you.
I don't know. All I know is if you got to start talking, you might want to start looking at championships. When's the last time Auburn won a championship? LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. I mean, SEC produces a lot of teams that win national championships.
Yeah, well, since the BCS has been around starting in '98, even Tennessee got one.
Oklahoma's got one.
One.
Yeah. SEC's got what? 10, 12? I don't know how many.
A lot. So,
people want to take away from us and say we can't claim them Rose Bowl titles back in the 30s. But if we're just going to microcosm it down, let's microcosm it down to this century. We got 6. And the next closest team is who? Clemson, Florida State?
Clemson has 2. Florida State has 1.
And so we got them doubled, even in this century. So I'm trying to be cocky.
I've talked a lot of smack about I've made fun of the SEC a lot before the this means more thing and all that. But, I mean, results don't lie, Let
them learn the hard way, says Big Cojones Kelly. Also, by the way, people say it's league's top heavy, but it's really not. Georgia's 1. No. LSU has the second most titles in the country with 3. So
when I've said it, I've been guilty of saying that, but here's my thoughts on it. I think it's top heavy on a year-to-year basis. But it might be different teams every year. Like, for example, it might be. I mean, it's been Alabama, Georgia for the last several years, but before that, it may have been Alabama, LSU.
LSU, yeah, that's what it was.
Or Auburn, Alabama, or Auburn, LSU, or whatever. But then when you got down to the, you still had your Vanderbilts. Mississippi State at one time wasn't good. Ole Miss wasn't good for a while. You always had some teams that were not very good. So that's when I say top heavy. It's not been top heavy over length of time, but each year, every team in the league can't be dominant. Somebody's got to lose.
I get what you're saying, but when they say top heavy, they're talking about it's just 2 teams for a long period, extended time, sort of like the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's short-sightedness, in my opinion, or recency bias.
Recency bias, yeah.
They're really talking about their own conference when they say that.
Yeah, the Big Ten, in my opinion, you've got 3 teams basically. You'll have more than that now, probably, with the consolidation. But I mean, you've had Ohio State, Michigan, basically.
Yeah,
and then Penn. You might throw Penn State in the mix, but they haven't made the CFP yet.
So. No, exactly. That's what Michigan State has.
Michigan State has, yes.
Big Val says Mississippi's never won a national title. That's wrong. They won one in the 1960s.
I think maybe you're thinking of Mississippi State.
Yeah, you might be talking Mississippi State because they ain't won shit.
Yeah, they haven't won one.
And until recently, Tennessee hadn't been good either. Tennessee was on a 10, 15-year drought.
When Alabama beat them, 16 years in a row?
28. Was it 2018? West Virginia mopped the floor with them.
You got to volunteer in here, man.
It happened. I'm not lying.
He's going to throw a golf ball at you like they did Lane Kiffin. Here comes the golf balls. Here comes the golf balls.
But historically over time, they're a great program. I mean, no doubt about it.
So they say top heavy. They mean LSU, Bama, and Georgia. Well, I mean, did Florida not win a national championship with Tim Tebow and those guys?
They won.
They won how many?
2.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
Not one.
Yeah, Florida won 2, and they also won under Steve Spurrier in the 90s. Just saying, even Auburn's won 1.
Auburn won 1, and honestly could have won 2 had they not gotten screwed out of that 1 year.
And when they played old rapist Winston at Florida State.
Yeah, and then
they got left out.
They got
LSU won the one in 19.
Yeah,
and they won another one with Saban. What year was that?
What is it?
What year did LSU win it with Saban?
2004.
2004.
Golly, so in 20 years, the SEC's won 2, 3, 4, 10. At least 10.
Big Orange says, "You're right, man. I'm only 23. I've been through hell." Yeah.
I'm sorry. My bad.
Man.
My apologies. I know that the last time that Alabama had lost to Tennessee before they won, I guess you was, 5 years old?
Yeah, that was damn. I'm really sorry.
What was you about to say, Chris?
I was going to say he has been through it because Tennessee hasn't really been good in his lifetime until the last couple seasons.
That's right. And they used to own Alabama's ass in the 90s now.
Yeah, big time.
I hate that.
Once again, the last name. Manning.
Yeah. Damn Mannings, man.
Now you got another one to contend with next year.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
That damn Mannings.
And he looked pretty darn good in the spring game. So
no, I don't care about spring games.
I don't either, really. But
Blake Barnett looked good in spring games.
Get them Manning women on some birth control. We don't want no more Mannings. Hell no.
Kentucky has only beat Tennessee 3 times in 45 years.
But it's Kentucky.
But they've also beat them 3 out of the last 5 years, too. So
have they? Good Lord.
So you're just a little construed there. I'm just messing with you, Big Orange. If you don't mind, subscribe to the channel. I need some more Tennessee fans.
That's another big thing that gets mixed up with people is that it wasn't Peyton Manning that won the national championship. It was T. Martin, Tennessee. I hear that a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
The year after Manning graduated.
Yep.
All right. 2012, 17, and 20. So what's that? I was a little off. 3 out of 9 years. How about that? So the USC Skittle Shizzer has a fake 2003 national championship that should not be recognized, but they never played in the national championship. Thought they did play in the national championship. They won the national championship. Had the BCS back game, didn't they?
Yeah.
Was Rose Bowl not a part of that yet? I think Rose Bowl was dragging their feet on that shit. They give Reggie's Heisman back. What do y'all think about that?
They should have.
Yeah, I had no issue with it. Should have done it a long time ago.
Yeah, I agree.
Man, you got Manziel out there doing the shit he's doing, and he kept his Heisman.
Yeah, exactly.
They ought to give USC that title back they took away from them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason they stripped it, because of the whole Reggie Bush shit.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning lost to Nebraska in the Orange Bowl.
Me and Cuz going to get in the DeLorean and go back to that game against Pitt that they lost 13-6.
13-9.
Yeah, 13-9 back in 2007.
The one thing I'll never forget.
West Virginia was going to play Ohio State for the national title that year.
And I think we could have beat them. I swear.
Oh, I definitely think we could beat them.
With Pat White and those guys, man, they were freaking unbelievable.
That would have been a great game for y'all too, because they're a border state, and y'all could use that in recruiting.
Bro, who was the receiver you guys had? It was a monster, the little fast dude. What was his name?
You're thinking of Tavon Austin.
No, it was before him. No, it was Tavon Austin.
Yeah, he came after that, but yeah, he was.
Yeah. Oh, he came after Pat White?
Yeah, he was. Tavon played with Geno Smith and
Geno Smith
when they first came into the Big 12.
Well, which team was it that it was you guys that beat Clemson like 76 to something?
70-33. It was that team. It was Tavon's, Gino, and that team's.
Oh my gosh!
Clemson fans have us to thank for their dynasty that they built because after that game, Kevin Steele got canned. And Dabo brought in a whole new staff, and then they went on their run.
That's when they brought in Brent Venables, didn't they?
Yep, they brought Venables in to be DC and Tony Elliott because West Virginia beat the snot out of them in the Orange Bowl.
That's why they want Kevin Steele back down here, man. I thought he was going to get our ass handed to us like that, but he actually done a pretty good job.
He did.
I mean, Dabo Swinney looked like he'd seen a ghost on the sidelines, man. It was like, what just happened?
Dude, every other play, it was touchdown. I literally, it was when I was watching that game, I didn't know what I was looking at.
And that offense kept clicking the next year. I mean, we beat Baylor. Now the problem is, and when we come into the Big 12, we had no defense. Our defense was terrible.
Yeah.
So we, because of that, we only won 7 games, but because we had to score 60 points to beat anybody. But we beat Baylor 70-63 in our very first Big 12 game.
What was it?
70-63. And I was there. I watched it in person.
Dude, that is a basketball score.
It was freaking fun. I can tell you that to watch.
Well, I can imagine as a fan,
but aggravating too on the same end because your defense is giving up these huge touchdowns.
That was like that stupid ass Texas A&M Arkansas game.
Oh my gosh,
72-71.
Yeah, winning a 19 overtimes.
Yeah, that 76-3 was with no overtime, by the way.
That one wasn't an overtime game. The Arkansas game.
Nope.
That's ridiculous.
Steve Lee said Tennessee never played in the Super Bowl. I think the Titans did play in one Super Bowl.
Yeah, they lost to the Rams.
That's right. They did.
Greatest show on turf.
Yeah, Tennessee did play in the Super Bowl.
Kurt Warner and they lost it by literally a couple feet.
Look up above that big orange vault. That's not what they're talking about. We have the second most Super Bowl winning players of all time. They're talking about, I'm assuming, big orange vault, correct me if I'm wrong, players that came to Tennessee that have won the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
From Tennessee.
Yeah. Tennessee, Steve's talking about, he's saying the Volunteers didn't play in the Super Bowl, so you can't claim them.
Clearly, but
everybody claims.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought they were talking about, and I was talking about former Vols. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I can see it from my end.
That's what y'all get for naming your pro team Tennessee. Y'all should name them Nashville, man. That way I could root for them.
Hey, let me ask y'all's opinion on something. This is kind of off topic, but there's kind of a controversy over who can wear the powder blue uniforms.
Oh, I saw that.
The Tennessee Titans are wanting to bring them back.
Yeah,
wear them as an ode to the Houston Oilers, right?
They're going to.
But I think the Houston Texans are kind of taking. I think they're a little offended by it. What do you think?
I think it's stupid, and yes, the Titans should be able to wear it. It's their former team.
It's their franchise, right?
Yeah, it's their franchise.
Why is the Texans getting mad about it?
Because it was a Houston Oilers team.
Oh, I know, but
it'd be the fans that are mad. I'm not sure who's mad exactly.
If they're so worried about and proud of their history, why didn't they call their franchise the Houston Oilers when they brought them back?
Well, they probably couldn't. I would imagine because of it was probably copywritten or something. I would imagine, or patented or whatever they call it.
You might be right, but they could have got it. Didn't Charlotte do that? They brought back the Hornets or some shit.
Yeah, but it was after New Orleans changed their name to the Pelicans.
Yeah,
that was a dumbass change, man. Who the hell's afraid of a pelican?
I don't think it's about fear.
Sissy ass bird.
I mean,
that's some shit Jonathan named his fantasy football team.
You're so stupid. Oh man, don't talk about that sissy blue color. David Wood over here talking about baby blue's a wussy color. LSU said that.
Yeah, you see what UCLA did to LSU? Run that mouth. UCLA come down and put that.
I like that powder blue. I ain't gonna lie.
I do too.
I like it. I like it. I like North Carolina shit, man. I love their helmets.
I do too.
I'd like to do a game in Chapel Hill, man. It seemed like it'd be pretty cool.
Who is the real UT, Tennessee? Honestly, when I think of UT, I do think of Tennessee, not Texas.
Me too.
I think of Temple.
You're stupid. You would think of Temple. University.
University.
I think that's TU, isn't it?
Yeah, you might be right.
You are correct.
Most start calling Texas TU, man. They get mad as hell when you do that. For some reason.
Pelican is a state bird of Louisiana. There you go.
Alabama's the same way. They get pissed off if you call them Alabama University.
Yeah, we'll have high school recruits at West Virginia that'll be get an offer and they'll recruit. They'll tweet. They're high school kids. They don't know any better.
Yeah.
They'll say, I just got an offer from the University of West Virginia, and our fans will be like, it's West Virginia University, and I'm like, dude, you're going after. He's 17 years old. Give him a freaking break.
Does it really matter? That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, it might if it was somebody who worked there. You know what I mean? I think it depends on who says it at the end of the day. But at the end, it's really not a big deal, no. To answer your question,
it's just like that whole horns down shit. It's stupid. But Big Honest Kelly's trying to defend the Pelicans here. He says that is the state bird of Louisiana.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, guess what? You got a sissy state bird too. Then why are you gonna name your state bird after a sissy bird, man?
What's Alabama state bird?
We don't have
probably a damn woodpecker or something.
We don't have no birds. We get probably the hummingbirds or some shit.
The St. Louis Cardinals. You will make fun of the St. Louis Cardinals?
Yeah, I like the Cardinals.
Or the Toronto Blue Jays?
I like the Blue Jays.
Man, you're just a hater.
Pelicans, man, that's an ugly ass bird. I like a cardinal and a blue jay. They're cool.
But they're not sissy?
No, just like the Orioles ain't.
Yeah, because that's your team.
Hey, I like Mountaineers. That should count for something. All right?
Yeah, we'll shoot your ass with
I'm trying to get you back on my side.
Yeah.
Trying to get you back on my side. Quit grilling me. Like Jonathan over here now. Trying to get my blood pressure up.
It's not very hard. Get somebody that's 5'1", their blood pressure up. Doesn't have to go very far.
Look, man, I can't help it. You 7'2", man. You abnormal.
I remember when
John Titus of the damn head and shit.
I remember when every podcast we would do or live stream, you would increase my height.
What'd you say? Say it again.
Like every live stream, you would increase my height. Like,
yeah.
It was like 2 straight months where you were like 6'1", and you were like 6'2", and 6'4", and then 6'6", and people were like, "Is he really 7 foot?"
That's what I'm saying. Damn, man, you tall, ain't you?
Literally, people were asking.
I'm like, the average height of a man's 5'8", and he's giving me hell about it, and he's a foot over me, man. He's got John Titus of the head.
Not a foot over you. 6'1". It's actually not very tall.
You ain't 6'1". You got 6'11". You forgot one number.
No.
6'1" is too tall too. You need to be like being cool, be 5'8".
Thunder OU sooner. The pelican bird has testicles for a chin.
Exactly. That's my point. It's a sissy fag bird. See, y'all gonna get me demonetized.
You guys you can't say that.
Don't say us.
Good Lord.
Look at what you done. Thunder OU, you made me say the F word. It is a pretty old sissy bird. You got me.
2 hours and 20 minutes in, I'd say you'll be okay.
Yeah, I think so.
At least they're not the peacocks.
Well, at least you're not. What's Cleveland's name?
Guardians.
The Cleveland Guardians.
Man, that's awful, man.
That is one of the worst names.
It's worse than the Commanders.
Yes, it is.
There was a bunch of Indian people got together and got pissed off that they changed that name. The Indians ain't mad about them names, man.
Well, the Indians are suing the Redskins. They're suing the Washington Commanders and want them back. They're threatening to sue them.
Yeah, I mean, the people who are mad about it aren't even Indian.
Nope. Go figure.
Commanders and Guardians? That sounds like a bad episode of Voltron or some shit, man.
Shut up.
Like damn Transformers or some shit.
Yeah, you're right.
I hate that movie, by the way. Transformers sucks.
I've never watched. Never had a desire.
The new ones do.
The new ones really suck.
Yeah, they do.
Y'all been going at it for 2 hours and 20 minutes, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm fixing to get up off of here.
I mean, I'm cool with it. It's been fun.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do, because y'all, really been putting out some good stuff and some good nuggets. I'm gonna take this shit and I'm gonna clip it up into like 4 or 5 episodes.
You ain't gonna do nothing. You're gonna shut the hell up.
I ain't gonna have to work all week.
Yeah, okay. You ain't doing that because you ain't gonna go through this and do that.
I do.
Nope. You better prepare for me coming out there.
Doing that. You ain't been paying
are you listening? You got a week before I come up to Tuscaloosa, so you better be preparing for me. You better have that apartment nice and clean, food cooked.
I tell you what, I want to see. I want to see an episode a joint episode with you two in the same room together.
It may happen actually this coming week.
He's too goddamn tall to get in my house, man.
Oh man, no, I'm going up to Tuscaloosa on Friday.
I live in one of them little hobbit things, like Lord of the Rings and shit. That's how short I am. I'm like one of them pygmies. Jonathan comes in look like the great Gandalf.
Jesus, you're stupid.
I'll have Kuz down. He can fit in my house.
Yeah, I got to sleep on the couch, which about half my body hangs over. Exactly. You know, short people have, they have small furniture.
We can fit anywhere, man.
We have to recline the love seat down so you can lay on the shit.
You might be able to squeeze me in a suitcase.
How tall are you, Kuz?
5'8".
Oh my gosh, what is it?
We're normal.
5'8".
We are normal. Spartans were 5'8". You know that?
You're so stupid.
They're warriors.
Yeah, I don't think you're a warrior.
You was them damn blue Celtic people that run down the hill naked in Britain and shit.
Oh man,
scaring the hell out of people. I'd run too if a bunch of blue naked people run at me.
Oh,
so I know my history.
This is went off the rails, man.
This is going way off the rails. But no, I am going up to Tuscaloosa on Friday. I'm going to spend a couple of days up there, so we'll have to do some joint podcast together.
Get them, neckbeard. I'll try to sick you on me.
That's what I do. You know, I should rename my channel.
Neckbeard Sports.
Neckbeard Sports. Sports with neckbeard. That'd be pretty entertaining. I would have to grow it out then. I wouldn't be able to shave it. Is there a way to not have a patchy beard? Because if you guys know any way, let me know.
Cuz might know. He's one of them mountain men.
What's that now?
How do you grow a full beard?
It's in our DNA, man. That's all I can tell you. We're manly men, I reckon. I don't know.
Manly man? You're calling me a non-manly man? All right, Kuz. Look, I'll be in Tuscaloosa on Friday. I'm
sorry,
damn
man.
drive.
Oh, but I couldn't. It was too easy. You kind of walked into it. I ain't gonna lie.
I just set him up for that. That's like an alley-oop, man. That's 5 slam a jam in Houston.
I don't know, man. I didn't even know if I could grow one until about 2 years ago, and I finally did, and it turned out okay, actually.
Yeah.
But
Which one of them?
With my job, I can't let it get too long.
Which one of them magic markers, man, and colored in like a coloring book?
Like Hollywood Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
Fred Bagley says beard tattoo. That's how I want to give me a beard tattoo. That's one of the dumbest damn things I think I've seen. I wonder how much that'd cost. That'd have to be thousands of dollars, right? Just
beard
going in there.
I bet that shit would hurt like hell.
Yeah, it would.
I ain't never get no tattoo.
Well, that's just you're a sissy. But
me in.
You got what?
I've got 3, and the last one I got may have done me in. I just about cried. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
It freaking hurt, man.
Yeah, I remember the first time I hit puberty, but yeah, I plan on getting my son's name because I got my daughter's name on my arm, but I don't have my son's name. And I can't. Yeah, I got to at least get one more. I plan on getting a couple more. Yeah,
I'd like to. I do want one on my forearm, but I just haven't. With my job, I'm not sure if how they would go. How they would. I'm in sales, and I'm not sure how they would.
Yeah. Well, I plan on my son's. I plan on getting on like my shoulder, like where it's not going to be visible, and I'll probably get my back done, which is not going to be visible. So.
Yeah, it's they're addictive. They can be.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely can. And they're expensive too.
Yes, they are.
If you want good tattoos. So
what's up with the Oklahoma softball team?
No one cares.
No, they do.
I know. I'm just saying that.
Oklahoma State beat them 2 out of 3. They then lost the Bedlam series in softball and football.
Good Lord.
Hey, y'all ain't gonna never get that Bedlam trophy back because Mike Wendy is never gonna play y'all game. Do what? You
just lost half of your audience.
I know. I'm just aggravating them. They know I'm playing with them.
I know.
Well, you're probably right. Some of them don't. They ain't got a sense of humor. They done got 5 unsubscribers after this.
You should get Just for Men as a sponsor. That way you can color your damn beard. I'd rather have, you know what I mean, like nice non-gray hair.
You need to get just for women because you're a big ass pudding tang.
Yeah. Stupid. Oh, man.
Shove it in your mouth because you're a douche nozzle.
Okay. Yeah, I think what we'll have to do, a drinking episode for sure. I saw someone mention that earlier in the chat.
Yeah, we could do a live from Big Al's.
Yeah.
Probably won't be too loud in there with them.
No, we can go get drinks and bring it back to your apartment and do the live stream that way. Get Kuz on the other side with a burning couch behind him.
Yeah.
Slamming some moonshine.
Oh, man, that'd be a great idea for a podcast.
Hey.
You should call your podcast The Burning Couch.
There's already one out there.
Oh shit.
Yeah, trust me. Yeah, there's about 2 dozen West Virginia podcasts. Pretty much every name was already taken, so I just decided to use my own nickname.
How about Unburned Couch? The Unburned Couch. Since y'all don't burn couches no more, it could be the Unburned Couch.
That just sounds stupid.
Yeah, that's kind of gay.
Kind of like him.
Look here, douche nozzle. Go get the tampon.
Scott Schrader. He beat you to it.
He's laughing at my douche nozzle comment. Anyway.
In all honesty, though, have y'all tried the Blackberry Crown yet?
Blackberry Crown. Have not tried.
I have not tried that.
It is freaking awesome.
Really?
Blackberry Crown? I like blackberry. Yeah, so I mean.
Do you like Apple Crown?
Yeah.
Then you'll like it, probably. If you mix it with lemonade and Sprite.
Lemonade and Sprite?
You may not ever drink anything else ever again.
That's a lot to say. I'm a vodka guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my Crown.
I'd probably go into a diabetic shock from drinking that.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, you probably would. Yeah, I'm not a big vodka guy, so.
Your tiny little liver, that's the process.
I can drink flavored vodkas, but I don't like regular vodka much.
No? Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I mix it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I use a white cran peach and vodka.
That actually don't sound too bad.
White cran peach, that with the peach Ciroc is smooth.
I like margarita's always been my favorite, my go-to. I'm a tequila guy.
I used to be, got away from it, and I'm kind of coming back to it again.
Is that the comment you was talking about, Jonathan?
So you gotta get, yeah, that's it.
The one thing me and Outlaws got to do one day, if we ever get a chance to meet, we've got to shoot tequila together, brother.
Shoot what?
Tequila.
Oh yeah. I got a bottle over here, some Altos. I done about finished it.
What brand? What is it?
Altos.
He drinks that shit that'll make you. He give you the shits for a week.
Yeah, I like Jose Cuervo and.
Ugh, good lord.
And Terramana's good too.
Yes, that's good.
It's really good.
But Jose,
you don't like Cuervo?
I like
no.
Patron's the best, but it's expensive as crap. So
Patron, it hurts my feet. Patron, first of all, is not the best.
I didn't say it was best. I said it was bad. The best.
It's okay.
I don't find on the real expensive stuff because I don't make six figures like y'all. So
okay, well, Don Julio, you know what I mean. To me, is not the best, but for what I can afford, I'll buy Don Julio. So
I'll try that now. I haven't tried Don Julio yet.
Don Julio's expensive too.
Is it on the same level as Patron?
It's a little bit more expensive than Patron.
Oh yeah. I might be able to splurge and get it. I'm kind of a tightwad.
Do they still make the tequila with the worm in it?
Probably somebody does, I'm sure. But and when I say Don Julio, I don't mean 1942. That's just like $150 a bottle. I'm talking about the rest. I forgot the names of, not the Blanco, but the other. But really good tequila.
David Wood said, try Wheatley's vodka. I think that's the official sponsor of Cody Rhodes now.
It is.
My favorite vodka, believe it or not, is Kettle One. Kettle One's my favorite vodka.
Never tried it. I don't even drink vodka. But I might try that Wheatley's just because it's a WWE sponsor.
Oh, of course. David Wood said, do you like a worm in your mouth? I'm sure he does like a worm in his mouth. He probably likes something bigger than a worm, though.
Too bad you never gonna have one big enough to put it in there.
Oh, how would you know? First of all, I may have to get a damn hotel when I come up there. Mescal has the worm in it. Okay, I knew one. I figured one was to have the worm in it.
What kind?
Mescal.
Mescal,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm sure it's expensive too. If it's got the worm in it.
That's what they're drinking on Young Guns.
There you go. Big Honus Kelly, probably the big worm. Yep. Kettle One is
You
good.
mean Big Perm?
Big Perm. This is the longest my hair has gone out in years, by the way. I gotta get a haircut.
God, I haven't had hair since I was 21.
Really?
You look like a fucking chichilla pet. You need to get that shit cut.
No. Don't talk to me about that shit.
This is what you need to do right here.
No, that I'm definitely not gonna do.
It's liberating, man. I'm telling you.
I'm honestly not sure. And I'm not. No, and this is not an offense. I don't think Johnson's got the head for that. Honestly.
No, I don't.
You got to have a nice round head.
Yeah, I don't have that round, nice, proportionate round head.
Man, he's got that John Titus head. Called the homie, like damn Jason Voorhees head. Friday the 13th.
Oh, man, you're stupid as hell.
Which I'm sure you had to wear it high and tight when you were in the military, didn't you?
Yeah.
He's got a round head. Don't let him lie to you.
Well, when I was in basic training, but when I was in the military, I just got a fade with like usually a 3 or 4 on top.
Yeah.
David Wood seems to know. He seems to know about your worm being big.
It's kind of weird.
What you and David Wood been doing? I've been laying the wood to you, like old David Wood.
Stupid. Scott Schrader said Tito's vodka is good. Yeah, I like Tito's.
I can tell you got an Apple, Jonathan.
I got an Apple.
Yeah, because an Apple computer. Because the thumbs up sign just popped up on your screen.
Oh,
yeah, I saw it. The thumbs up.
That's how you know I got an Apple?
Yeah, because that's what I got one too, and other computers don't do that.
I did not know that. Why did it? Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
You didn't know it did that?
No, I learned something new today.
David Wood said he's a top.
Did you see it pop up?
I saw something pop up. I didn't notice it was a thumbs up though.
It was a thumbs up. Yep.
I'm gonna get one that pops up. Does this right here?
Hey, that's the state of West Virginia outline. Do you know that?
That's good.
It is. It actually is.
You got the 2 panhandles.
Yeah. Then you got a little arm over here sticking in Virginia, saying
Yeah.
"Fuck you, Virginia."
Yeah, you see they got the 2 panhandles here, north and east.
There you go. Yep. Fred Bagley said you got an Oompa Loompa head.
Yeah, he's talking about your head.
I'm not little. Oompa Loompa. That'd be you there, short stuff.
Well, the Oompa Loompas got retarded heads.
No, he's talking about you. With your little bitty ears and your little bitty eyeballs and
Hey, watch it. David Wood said he's the top, so you had to be bottom, Jonathan.
I ain't no bottom. Nick Saban went 17-0 against Arkansas and 16-1 against Tennessee.
Speaking of bottom, Outlaw, it sucks that Rhea Ripley's out, man.
Shit. Yeah, man. I don't know what's up with that, man. Sometimes I think, she had a sort of a mental breakdown before WrestleMania. She had like a, what's it called? She hyperventilated or something right before WrestleMania.
Uh-huh.
And so she was a little late coming out for the match, I think. But she was having some issues hyperventilating, or she was just freaking out for no reason. I don't know if she's actually got an injury and they're not saying what's really wrong with her. But I think she might be having some kind of mental issues or something.
I don't know.
Have some kind of
She's still been posting pictures of herself on Twitter occasionally.
Yeah. I'm just saying she might have some kind of mental illness or something.
She may. I mean, it was just a big moment for her. I just assumed it was just a big moment.
You can't really help it if you got
nervous.
If you got a mental illness, you can't really help it. So.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, I hope hopefully it's not the case. I'm hoping it's just her arm, but.
Yeah, I hope it is too. Because I definitely want to see her ass back in the ring, literally and figuratively.
Have a good night, David.
Yeah, she's very talented. Even though she is also hot, she's also very, very talented.
Oh yeah, a lot of those women today, man, are not nothing like those women in the 80s and the 90s. They actually got talent now.
Yeah, most of them do.
China had talent.
Even in the 2000s, even with Trish Stratus and them, They weren't really that talented.
I don't know, man. Lita was.
Now Lita was the outlier and all that shit.
Yeah, a lot of them. And then nowadays, I mean, you got my God, Bianca Belair's fun to watch. Jade Cargill's fun to watch.
Jade Cargill's hot.
She is hot. But
God.
she's also.
Oh, mighty damn, man. That'd be some jungle fever for Jonathan right there, boy.
You're in the jungle fever. So stupid.
But the cool thing about Rhea is, like, she posts pictures of herself without makeup on. And, dude, she is freaking gorgeous without makeup on.
Yeah, have you seen pictures of her when she used to have long blonde hair?
I have not.
She's freaking smoking hot. But I still like the gothic look better.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that gothic look, man. Just makes me I just want her to beat the piss out of me.
Exactly. That black lipstick, man.
Choke me out.
Oh, shit. That black lipstick on the lips, man. That shit. Oh, man. Be ready to get dominated.
Not very hard. I mean, you're what, 5'2"?
Hey, you better give me them 6 inches back.
That's what she said. Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm going to get off here.
Yeah, I got to, too. It's 12:10 here.
All right, brothers.
Thanks for having me on, man. It's been fun.
I appreciate you hanging out with us, Cuz. Give us some information on your channel if you want to before you get out.
Yeah, you can find me on Kuz's Corner, spelled Couzs, on YouTube. I'm also have a basketball channel called Hoops from the Hills. If you're ever interested in seeing what's going on with West Virginia basketball, got a website, Kuz'sCorner.com. You can come check out some articles. I've got about 3 writers plus myself over there. Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter at Kuz206.
Did you mention all the conference realignment talk that you do?
No, I touch on conference realignment quite a bit. I try to keep up with that stuff as much as I can. With what's going on with the ACC and Big 12 occasionally. What teams might be good, pickups for the Big 12 should the ACC implode, things like that.
All right. Well, have a good night. Kuz, it was nice seeing you, talk to you.
All right.
Good night.
See you later.
JBC, have fun.
All right,
color your beard.
Take care. And that was the artist, formerly known as Jonathan Lewis, college football with Jonathan Lewis, and Kuz's Corner. We are going to create another channel that's going to be dedicated to Alabama and Oklahoma, because I found that those two fan bases are pretty passionate, and I think we could have a winning show doing that as well. We're going to call it the Two Crimson Nations. So when we get that up and going, y'all feel free to subscribe to that as well. Like seeing the new names up in here tonight. Big Orange Val, Scott Schrader. All y'all that were new in here, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. And with that, I'm going to get up out of here. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. Share it out to your buddies. Get them in here and get this party crunk. And with that, KMCA to all the other teams, class is now officially dismissed.